I'm just saying the doll's more than an inanimate object.
So yes.
I mean, who's to say? I don't have these kinds of answers.
Incredible. Alright, let me throw this in the actual hecking document.
I'm sure I got all this stuff set up. Oh, bonk. Alright. So, been a little bit. But last session, we hung out in Mirage for a little while again. We all went to Feihu's Horde, chatted a little bit about dragon eggs and how they're made and how they hatch and baby dragons. We had a conversation about the new art that Zerga has been working on. We had one successful recast of the teleportation circle, which puts us at roughly 5 out of with only about 361 to go to make it permanent once again.
That's like almost 1%.
Yeah, that's yeah, pretty close. Excuse me. Astior is up and about again, kind of hanging out with Calandus around town, still recovering from some amount of magical overload. And we've noticed that Feihu. Feihu seems to be undergoing, in addition to just kind of the heightened levels of stress in general, some kind of potential malady that has been affecting her and turning some of her tail tips gray.
And there's an airship now.
We hung out with Loka's old crew briefly. Srisk and Fing, as well as their airship captain, Captain Pendulous Hubble. The gnome who is extremely committed to the idea of going to the center of Havsrath, as well as a ragtag crew of entirely scrupulous deckhands.
Very honorable, very...
But as of yesterday, you all, you collectively med plans with Feihu to take advantage of the airship's presence in order to hop over to Althra in a more timely manner than you would have been able to otherwise. And that leads us to... Oh, and Hassan began reading the tome of an particular draconic author on the subjects of some of the darker arts of magic and gained some amount of arcane insight into the inner workings of that type of arcana. I used the word arcane and arcana too many times in that sentence. We are moving on. So that leaves us here this morning. I believe the most of you have gathered back at the suite of the Misty Vale Inn. Hassan, how long did you end up staying out last night?
But never came back.
Eli got his sandwich in the...
I was muted again.
Oops.
I think he might have fallen asleep with the book in the Horde.
Okay. Then yeah, you wake up this morning in the Horde, and your compatriots wake up or don't, depending on whether Zoran has decided to sleep for aesthetics. In the upper floor of the Misty Vale Inn. Is there anything you would like to do immediately as you wake up? any preparations any of you have to make before departing this morning for the City of 1,000 Colors?
So, okay. I have two things. One, I did not hear you say that you started the recording, so I wanted to make sure that happened.
Yeah,
okay,
I did.
Cool. Yeah, I think Loka would. Loka's in motion, I think, a lot sooner than normal.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go and tell Fing and Srisk that they will be joining, and then would immediately go and check on Feihu.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Feihu is actually like on her way to the Misty Vale Inn as you hop out on your way, as you end up on your way to her little hut, and she has like it looks like kind of a big not quite a suitcase, but kind of a bag that she is kind of levitating behind her, like a you know, like a long case, like kind of 18th century travel bag, but it's basically just a big box.
Yeah.
She got one of those, and she sees you, and her eyebrows kind of like, okay, and she kind of hurries a little bit more towards you. Is everything? I was just coming to the Misty Vale to kind of collect everyone and kind of prime everyone on the goings on. Good morning. Hi. Hello.
I love this. So fucking disheveled already.
Busybody.
Stay here. So I just talked to my old crew, and I think they're gonna get things, set up for us to join them. And then I don't know where Hassan is. And Zoran and Pasmina are still upstairs, I think. I've been on the move for like a half an hour, so I don't know.
Well, we can certainly find out. You have the you have the I keep wanting to say link pearls, sending stones. Would you mind calling Hassan to the inn?
Yeah, sure.
Loka takes out the sending stone and yells into it.
Hassan!
Which I think goes to all four of you because of how the sending stones are connected.
It super does. It super does.
Just bolt straight up out of bed like,
Zoran just pegs it to the wall.
You, Loka, from about 100 feet behind you, you hear a real extremely loud squawk, and it said, "I'm right here, you don't have to shout in my ear!"
Get off the phone!
I'm right next to you, stop texting from a few feet away.
You didn't use the sending stone to say that, did you?
No, he just yelled.
Got it.
Sam, can you bring your face closer to the sending stone? You sound really far away.
I'm not. 1 second. He starts going through his bag, and so he's like, "Where did I am perfectly able to talk to you through my voice. Thank you very much. Just give me a minute. I will be right there. See me? I'm waving at you. I am walking towards you. See?"
Mina just like sleepily into her. It's like, why is everyone shouting? Where are y'all? Just like rubbing like sleep out of her eyes.
Nothing. Go back to sleep.
No. It would be great if folks would wake up. Actually, I think we need to have a bit of a chat before things get started.
No, Pasmina, don't go back to sleep. You have to go to Ultra.
Oh. I'm up. I'm up.
All right, and Feiyu continues walking with you, Loka, into the Misty Vale Inn, and then up to the upper floor. Once she gets there, she ushers you, Loka, and San like into the upper room. Here, I can teleport you inside.
How do I get back up there?
And she kind of ushers everyone into the suite, and then we'll gonna assume Zoran's in here too.
Oh, there's.
And closes the door with her little pack beside her. She goes, "All right. Now that we're all in the same place, excellent. Loka's made arrangements. It sounds like we're going to be departing for Althra in maybe an hour, 90 minutes or so. I think we need to have a bit of a talk beforehand. As Loka brought to my attention last night, I assumed I was under functionally just a large amount of stress, and thought that Loka brought to my attention that it may, in fact, I may be a bit under the weather, as far as illnesses go. I have more news on that. We will still be going to Althra, because I have need of finding a toxicologist. I don't know how, or why, or when. I have been poisoned.
Thank you. What?
Excuse me?
I thought I was down with a larger sickness. I ran a number of tests. I cast every spell that I am aware of to alleviate such maladies, and still my exterior is beginning to deteriorate, and frankly, I feel like hell.
Pashmina immediately gets up and like starts to like urge her to like sit on the edge of her bed. It's like
Like
sorry.
to do. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Would you mind? Can I check you over?
Sure.
So I haven't really talked about it, but this I might be able to help.
Sure. I'm down to. I'm here to try everything possible. And she sits down at the edge of the bed. She just aesthetic. She's clearly keeping up a posture. But she has a cough every once in a while. She seems to be leaning on her staff a little bit more heavily than usual. All things that were starting to be visible yesterday, but seem to have worsened a little bit overnight.
Would you allow me to, like, perhaps insight to try and see if she's, like, hiding any panic at all? Because she seems a little panicked, but...
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Ugh, not good. That's an 8.
8. She's definitively concerned. You can... yeah, it's clear that she's clearly concerned about this. The urgency with which she is invested in seeking you all out and hoping to in exiting the township kind of implies that urgency implies an underlying worry, regardless of her like physical presentation.
And I would also like to do like a medicine check.
Yeah, for sure.
To try and discern more information about this. Oh god. Nope, that was an 8.
An 8?
Shit.
Yeah, like
rough.
she seems like she's not doing particularly well. I assure you, I appreciate the help, but I can't. I've tried universal antitoxins. I'm a goddamn healer, and I can't. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I got it. I just. Hopefully, I'm not certain of any specifics, but I'm hoping that there is a healer more skilled than I don't know, a cleric, like I said, a toxicologist, someone in
Someone has to know
Althra who
something.
might be able to tell me what's happening.
Matron, if you would not mind me perhaps suggesting something, but mayhaps we should talk to Astior briefly. He was speaking not so long ago of an illness sort of making its runs throughout the continent. And in the case perhaps that this is what he describes, perhaps we should speak to him first, because he perhaps may know.
Sure, if it's possible.
Yes. If you would stay here, I could go get him if you would wish.
Certainly, yeah. I have nothing to do until we leave. I've already left the Horde and the eggs with Zurga. have Sir Saran ready to handle any town affairs. I'm by all means ready to leave as soon as we can.
All right, I will be right back. Do make yourself comfortable, and do not worry. I'm sure we will identify this very, very quickly. And Hason's going to step out of the room and go looking for Astior and Calandis.
Yeah. They are about. Similarly to prior when you found them, they are kind of hanging around the markets, as that is kind of the only place for things to be in town at the moment.
I shall teleport over there.
Here, I can just bring them. We can shortcut that.
Okay.
Bonk, 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 bonk. And
While Haston is out, I would like to ask a single question of Feihu when we get the chance.
Please.
Feihu, did you share like a drink or a meal with the the person who came from the royal family?
We had tea.
Did you notice them? Did they touch your drink at all? Did you notice anything unusual?
No, not, no, I didn't. Can't say I was looking for it.
And it's hard to say when this all started because of all the stress, right?
Yes, although, not longer than the last few days.
Hmm.
It just seems like a really good time to undermine you. You know, like, oh, you can't run the city because you're sick and probably gonna. Never mind, I'm not gonna say that.
It just makes a face.
But you get what I mean. I guess.
No, I
It's too convenient.
Yeah.
It may be convenient, but they stand to gain nothing from an act like this.
They stand to gain Mirage, don't they? If Mirage has no leader, then no, it's ours now. Cool.
At the very least, we don't know what this is. We don't know what sort of toxin, if it is one, and this is not me doubting you at all, Feihu.
no, I would be intensely surprised myself. I understand the hostility, but it's always been layered in some level of formality. I don't.
It would be a bit forward. It would be a little too obvious, wouldn't it?
I can
Playing their hand
guarantee the royal family had nothing to do with this, or have had no idea that this even happened. I would even garner to say I do not think the monitors would have a hand in this sort of act. This is just... it's underhanded. And sure, they may act the way they do sometimes, but I'm not entirely sure.
We neither accuse nor rule it out then. We just have to wait.
Is the messenger the only new person to arrive in Mirage within the last week?
We had the wool merchants arrived and went yesterday. And that was a whole pack of new people. We're a trade town. The members of the airship crew are all new. Though I feel my symptoms may have been developing prior to their arrival.
Oh god, I hate to say it, but Zerga's new.
Oh no, that's not. Surely not. That's.
I mean, if we want to keep all options open.
Just gets a very grim look.
If it were an illness rather than a toxin, that could be entirely possible. Zerga and I have been apart for a long time. Maybe she carried something with her from the northern ends of the Phasia. Has she been
displaying any?
No, not that I can tell of. Not that she's been vocal about.
We have so little time. I would like to check her over as well, but
we've got about an hour before we need to leave for Althra. If you wish you could make a quick visit, we could head over, or perhaps summon her here.
Either or, whatever is the hastier option.
The eggs will be fine on their own. Easier to hurry one individual here than to many back. I'll send her a message. And about now is when you can come back with Astior and Calandis. Hasan, if you would like to.
Sure. That sounds good to me. I am happy to have retrieved them and explained to the... well, and I guess asked Astior on the way back if he would be able to identify the sickness in question.
Oh, I've mostly heard about it in passing and as in the abstract, but I would not mind an opportunity to observe.
It's nothing.
And provide whatever insights I may will.
Yes. And he'll walk them in, I guess. Thank you for waiting.
Zerga, under the weather, are we?
Zerga, Cole.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay, Cole. It's okay.
I'm trying. I don't know why. I legitimately don't know why.
It's the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
it's the way that the words. Feihu is all soft. Zerga. See. We do it too. We do it constantly.
All right. So and they have a bit of a back and forth. Feihu kind of describes her extant symptoms, the fatigue, the graying, the kind of like overarching kind of weakness. Like there is a primarily fatigue and kind of mental fog.
It's on
that are
just sort
primary symptoms.
Ethan has like been just begins writing notes, and like with every single note, he looks a little slightly more grim. Like, oh, that's checking boxes, isn't it?
Astior kind of like, after kind of listening to the comments, like, well, it does bear a striking resemblance, although there is a relevant difference here, which is frequently in the places in which there was a as I'd observed and heard tell of in my research, an unrest, a bit of assorted madness that usually came associated with it, and it was widespread. This is a single case, and as we are aware of, as we are currently aware of, you are the only sufferer, so to speak. So unless others begin to feel ill or fall ill, this may be similar or associated, but I feel it may not be identical.
Well, at the very least.
Well, we can certainly keep you updated. If perhaps you could do some further research into this specific phenomena, that would be very useful. Astior. Oh, sure. I don't have anything else to do with my time around here, and I can't do spells for a little bit, so that'll be fine. Okay. Then yeah, please, and Clandis would appreciate your help on this as well. Okay. If I may, and he actually like. This is implications. I'll think about that later. He actually plucks one of Feihu's little graying feathers as a sample. And she just kind of like only just reacts, and he's just like, I think this may provide some be of some use, if you would not mind. He's hand wave, like not bothered. And anything if it'll help. All right, Hostess, Calandis, prepare the beakers. They scurry out.
And Haysam will briefly follow him out, I think, and say, before you leave, say
we're just going right here.
Worst case scenario. Say worst case scenario that we are correct and Mirage is flipping. What would this affect the illusory barrier, that the mist that surrounds Mirage? Do you believe?
Oh,
because I have no doubt.
It's entirely possible.
Because if your diagram is correct and the abjuration magic is perhaps the source of those positive energies that, well, surround Mirage. If that is diminished, then that would mean there is no longer a barrier blocking site around this place anymore. Correct?
That is entirely possible, yes.
Right.
Although that would imply that the since we were a little cagier about this before, but the implication there then would be that the effects of Feihu's material presence as a dragon on this area of the Earth itself, Gaiul itself, may be the source of those energy pockets. Because the surroundings that would be affected by such a flip, by such a diminish, if the illusory mists are to fall, then would follow that the positive readings are the effects, are her effects on this region.
Do you have the means to monitor this? at all?
Not currently, but I can attempt to remanufacture them, potentially with the help of the skilled alchemist down the road. I'd hate to interrupt whatever work she's doing now, though.
Oh, I'm sure whatever it is, it's not as important as this.
Well, I'll at least pop in and talk, and we'll see.
I apologize. I apologize for interrupting your work.
No,
It's concerning.
it is.
Thank you, Asio.
Of course.
And Sam will walk into the room. Blah, 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 blah. Hooray. Doors.
You know, those two are new too.
This is true.
Yes, are you suggesting something, Loka?
I still don't trust Calandus. I don't know why. I just get a feeling about him. And I'm just keeping my options open. You know, like, we gotta be like,
Oh God. I'm so sad. I can't think of a name. Like, what is fish person Sherlock Holmes' name? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Codlock.
Shoals. Yeah.
Foams.
Codlock.
I like foams.
Oh my god.
I like Codlock foams. That's a good one.
That's
You also go
good.
shoal lock foams would also work.
That should be good.
we gotta be like, Codlock Foams. You know, and just get out our magnifying glasses and really,
And his
like,
assistant Flotsam.
Very good. That's canon now. Those are our existing characters. It turns out that Locathar are actually just the inventors of Western canon in this world as far as character creation. Just like lots of pulp
Loka,
adventure novels.
Yeah.
Loka, while I do enjoy the works of Sir Squidthur, Sir Squidthur, Sir Arthur Cotton, Sir Squidthur Cotton Doyle, I will say that maybe we shouldn't be using them as a template for our investigation. They're not exactly accurate or anything.
I don't know what you mean they're not accurate. That's how we do things where I'm from. That was the beacon, the shining example, you know?
Oh, I need to get you. It's just like going through her things. It's just like, oh, what do I have? What do I have?
Also, Faye here, I wouldn't worry too much about being under the weather. I mean, you and me both, right?
And then he points up to the cloud.
Oh my god.
Yes, precisely, Loka.
It's like a dad joke.
Oh yes, I am very aware of her lock films, Caroline. I am very aware of her lock
Baby. Oh, baby, you better be.
Okay.
It's a good
Sorry,
thing I
that
have
completely
this. I never
derailed me.
thought I would have to use it. Have a kit. Worst comes to worst, we have something.
Oh.
Just kind of holds up her herbalism kit.
Ah.
It's one of the few things that good that came from that place.
Ah. Well, yeah, something to bring with us should we have need of it. That said, is everything ready to depart?
What about Zerga?
Oh, yes. Check if she. Oh, she is in fact on her way. She's very nearby. Haha. human I was using to depict her previously.
I think it was the one in the red dress.
This one? Bonk.
Yeah.
Aha! Zerga arrives. You hear a light knock on the door. Couldst I enter?
In. Quickly.
Sorry, and 'twas a light jog. Was tempted to fly, but though that seemed a dour course of action.
No, I need, just take a moment to get your heart rate back to baseline so I can...
Alright.
I'm gonna check you over. Yeah, and Peshmin is basically going to, like, try and compare and contrast, basically see, like, are there any similarities or are there any differences between, like, what she noticed about Feihu versus, Zerga.
Yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Sean will assist with this.
Will assist. All right, 25. Good lord.
25 is very good. Yeah.
I have a +5.
Yeah. I mean, which means you rolled a 20?
Yeah.
Like an real actual 20?
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, so the differences are easy. And like pretty they come to the surface for you quite quickly, regardless of the fact that one of these two people is presenting as an Aarakocra and one of them is presenting as a human. The fatigue is the biggest one, and the graying is the other. The biggest, like, as far as you can tell, Zerga is like, you've basically just done like a once over physical for Zerga, and she is totally fine. Like, couldn't be healthier. She's a little sad, but like, there's nothing about her that indicates even a bit of poor health. Highly contrasted with Zerga, who is definitely exhibiting traditional symptoms of just like overstress, but like those are hiding, clearly were obscuring and hiding deeper signs of ill well-being. So yeah, as far as you can tell, like whatever is going on with Zerga, or whatever's going on with Feihu, Zerga is not suffering from.
All right. So, good news is you're perfectly fit.
Ah.
I doubt that it's an illness that's been passed from one to another. That much we were kind of suspecting anyways. Unfortunately, that's about all I know.
Well, 'twas fine to hear. Shouldst I have need of you? Shouldst thou need support in Althra? Thou shouldst send me merely a message, and I twill fly out and raise half a city should I need to in salvation of any of you.
Gets a bit of a sour look from Saran.
Are you?
I mean,
Are you sure you're okay? Sure you want to go, Feihu? Feihu's just like, yes, I need to. There are people that can help me, and I don't think they. If someone did do this to me, I think it would be folly in the first place to claim that it be the fault of any city, but further would be, I doubt it is the sole responsibility of any one group. Seems complicated.
we'll be with her.
Well, please keep my sister safe. She is mine family, and I care for her very much. Sorry you feel bad.
Listen, if anything changes, you might be feeling well now, but let us know too, right?
Of course. I shall send you an message anon. All right. Unless thou hast more for me to do, I should return to mine responsibilities.
If
Good day. Safe travels. Safe travels. Safe travels. Safe travels. It's like nodding to each of you in turn. You're...
Faye, are you sure you are all right to present yourself to the court? You do realize they will no doubt take advantage of this, and they will notice.
I'm uncertain. Right
Because-
now, my reasoning for attending Altharad Hall is to find help, first and foremost. We can
The sooner the better.
determine that drama when it arises.
Yes.
In the
If you-
meantime, allow us to, not just go with you, but help you carry things, carry out errands, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Rest as much as you can.
I would appreciate that greatly. Thank you.
They here?
Yes.
So one of my friends is, very good with, like, natural magics. If I were to ask her to try and see if she could help you, though, would she then also figure out, would it be easy to discern your true identity?
I think it would be more than easy. I think it would be necessary.
Oh,
The should the affliction be so yes, short answer yes. I believe if they take too close of a medical or even natural examination of my polymorphed form, I think it would be very quick. They would be quick to discover that I am draconic in nature.
so we're kind of playing with fire then, huh?
Yeah. More like lightning in our case, but yes.
I like how you think.
Will you be perchance? Will you be disguised? While we are there? Well, disguised differently than you already are.
I am certainly considering changing forms, yes.
I believe that might be pertinent. If someone saw you, per se, attending an Altharanian toxicologist, and
In
that
fact,
made its way.
it may be useful for me to do so before even boarding the vessel for travel. Yes, I should still be able to do that much. And she kind of like taps her staff on the ground, and kind of closes her eyes for a minute. And like, there is, much like around the full town of Althra, there is this kind of hazy mist that kind of like apparates around her and conceals her form briefly. And you can see almost movement inside of it, but it is deeply obscured by this kind of glittering as smoke, and then she gives her staff another tap, and she has taken the form of a white dragonborn in a purple cloak.
Much like the one we see.
Convenient.
What? No. Oh, this should do. It is actually a little bit more comfortable than... I do enjoy feathers, but they get so... Even in this form, you can see that some of the... kind of in a more patchwork pattern, some of her scales, now naturally white, are darkening at the tips.
So even magic can't conceal it.
Oh, it appears. And I went into the desert to observe in my natural form, and similar visual distortion on my true scales.
Then let us make haste.
Yes, let us. She kind of like hustles out with her little suitcase in tow. Out.
Teleport.
To the airship.
Before we all leave, Pashmina's actually going to tap Zaran on the shoulder.
They turn to face Pashmina. Yes.
Listen, if at any moment you feel strange or uncomfortable or things are going badly, retreat to your lantern, alright?
I plan on it.
Hmm.
I also plan on not leaving one of your sides for the duration of the trek there. Or should I say trek home?
I'll try to watch over, but I'm also watching over Feihu now, too.
Of course. It'll be alright. I'm worried over nothing, I'm sure.
Pashmina does not look particularly convinced, but just kind of nods.
I don't think Zaran is either. Well, shall we? May I help with any of your bags, perhaps?
Oh no, it's fine. I've got it.
Of course. And Zaran will kind of like dip out and start heading downstairs.
All right. The lot of you make your way to the side of the airship titled Prototype the Third.
How do I move myself from...
And yeah, the crew is aboard. They are significantly more lively than they were yesterday. That are preparing things. The dwarven man is shoveling coal, and the orc is working on their rigging. Half orc is working on their rigging. The halfling is still sharpening an arrow and staring at everyone with an evil eye.
Wait, Cole or Akram?
Cole. Akram is not incinerated in the same way. They're manning the furnace. I haven't decided the actual mechanical ramifications of that.
Okay.
Maybe it is Akram. That would make the most sense. It is arcane in some... It's arcane, but in a mundane way, right? Like, it is using a consumption of a material to produce an effect. But either way. The dwarf is manning the furnace. And everyone else is on deck. Captain Pendulous Hobble notes you all coming up. Just like, it's the last call, everyone aboard!
Up the ladder. Oh, wait, no, I don't have to go up the ladder. I can fly, fuckers.
Well, no need to show off.
Feihu ascends, and her packaging comes with her. Luggage comes with her. All right. If everyone's ready, we can set off and be there before sundown.
That will do.
All right. Here we go.
No.
It's like there's not even like seating. We just have to like hold on.
No, yeah, you just gotta. Takeoff tends to be a little rough, so find something to steady yourselves with if possible.
Sirhan does not like the sound of this and just holds on to like this just dear life.
Excellent.
Right, well, we're going.
Captain Pendulous Hobble begins like there is this assembly at the front of the airship of levers and gears and wheels, and just begins like pulling things and spinning things and modifying levers, pushing switches, and like the furnace roars to life, and you kind of feel the entire deck lurch upward and forward. As the airship begins to slowly settle off of the ground. There's a little bit of a pour of sand as it comes out of the creaks and crevices of the wood to fall onto the beach below, as the crew takes off for Althra. It's time for a new board.
Yeah.
Whoa. I have to go to the bathroom. I will be right back.
Take the time to reassemble all of these minis.
Oh, we're not even at all raw. We're just
Oh, we're just on the road.
we're above the road.
Minis. Punk.
I like how I was on the ropes when I loaded in. Same as Zeron. Excellent.
Just the easiest place to place people.
Oh, fair.
And all right. After a little bit of a tumultuous takeoff, everything seems to be going rather fine. It's much like flying through the air insofar as most the travel itself isn't actually particularly rocky. There's no surface to bump into, no rocky road to roll wooden wagon wheels over. It's fairly smooth, if occasionally listing. The larger breezes can tilt kind of the entire surface of the deck by a few degrees in either direction, depending on how fast they're going. But you're moving at quite a pace. In comparison to when you were even just kind of trucking along with Millie and the cart on the road, you're moving probably more than twice as fast as that.
Wow.
Very much zooming down the path. It appears that they are pretty much just taking the road. Easiest way to navigate between places is just to follow the existing navigational markers instead of getting lost in the vast sands of the desert. So kind of keeping a relatively low altitude, but zooming along. The crew is very busy at the beginning of the trek, but as the you kind of get into a steady cruise, everyone kind of seems to relax and get on doing their own thing. How's everyone faring on this ride? Feihu seems like largely unfazed by this process. When you take off, she kind of gives the expression that implies that, like, oh, this is novel. This is kind of an interesting experience, but is not, like, swept away by it. Hey, Son, you're familiar with flying. I'm curious what you think about this as a process.
It's definitely it definitely feels not the same. I think Hasan feels like, imagine you are the person who drives the car. You are always the one in the driver's seat. And suddenly now you are in the passenger's seat. You are no longer you are almost kind of instinctively kind of yearning for the control to see for where you're going, because you know you're in a moving vehicle, but you are no longer in control of it. So occasionally he will nervously look to whatever steering mechanism and is like,
Hovering
we're
around
we're
Pendulous.
tilting a bit. We're not adjusting for the wind speed that well. Oh, maybe I should tell them.
And
Oh no.
just to offset that even more, the like giant wheel kind of steering column mechanism of this exists, but is not directly manipulable. Like, all of that is completely controlled by this wild assortment of pseudo-mechanical controls that Pendulous is constantly attending during the flight. So, like, if you wanted to take it over, it wouldn't even be just, like, grabbing a steering wheel. Like, I think it would be difficult for you to even understand how you would change anything to do that.
Yeah, so Hassan's definitely in a new headspace, flying without flying without being able to control how he is flying. And we'll occasionally just look out and be able to enjoy the view without, I guess, the stress, maybe slightly without the stresses of being the one constantly, having to control the body by which they travel.
For sure. After a bit of cruising, the halfling seemingly finally finishing to sharpen the single bolt that she has been working on this entire time, just goes, "Deck's too crowded!" and, like, knocks the bolt into her crossbow and just, like, scampers over to the bow and just instantly scales the sail to get up on top of the balloon.
Surely we're not that much bad company.
Oh, don't worry about it. Srisk kind of, like, is around and just like, she's kind of a pill all the time. I don't really get it. Here for security, though. Hell of a good shot, but, like, I don't know what's her deal.
Well, don't know where they're from? Know nothing?
Yeah, to each their own, I guess.
Cheap hires. Didn't need to know.
Whatever you say. Hassan, in that case, out of curiosity, is going to
bother this halfling.
going to like catch the wind and try to catch the wind in his wings and maybe just like slightly fly up, I guess, or like glide back up, like as if he's letting the wind take him like a couple feet back.
As soon as you pop over within view of the top of the balloon, this halfling she's just like immediately stows a bottle of something. Is just like, "What are you doing up here?"
Well, I couldn't help but notice that you particularly did not like the presence of others, and I particularly noticed that you do not appear to be particularly interested in sharing anything about yourself.
She keeps a hand on her crossbow.
And was wondering if perhaps he pulls out 3 gold. You would be willing to tell some life stories?
Oh, fuck yeah! Just swipes the 3 gold right out of your hand.
Yes.
It all started at the orphanage.
Oh my god.
And she just starts talking. Immediately pulls a bottle of murky brown liquid out of the left side of her jacket, downs half of it in 2 gulps, and just goes.
Wow.
You are getting her entire life story for 3 gold, for sure. Like, orphan, early draft into, like, Darish, like, pseudo-military, like basically like JROTC for, like, the Royal Guard. Hated that, tried to do, like, the Ranger Hunter life, friend got mauled by a warg in the woods, like, ended up having to survive alone deep in, like, the Darish underbrush with nothing but, like, a crossbow and 2 knives and her wits. Eventually started doing airship crew stuff, took this for the easy money and, like, the travel experience. Yeah. She does not give you her name this entire time.
Excellent.
And there was no Hard to believe there isn't a name attached to this story.
Crew calls me She-Devil. That's all you need to know.
Ah, yes, but I'm sure. Yes, readers love the little call signs. What is it? What is that old one? Oh wait, I remember this one. You wouldn't happen to be referring to the She-Devil of Top Crossbow, would you?
I don't read.
Yes. Read?
Read?
What?
I don't. What are you referring to?
Nothing. Looks like some people have looks like some people just have a sense of humor, and it has gone over your head. Wait, would you like me to explain the name's origin?
No.
Okay, then you shall never know.
Perfect. Swig.
Nibble.
Do you want some? No idea what's in it. Offers it to you. Well, I know exactly one thing that's in it, and that is alcohol.
Heisan tries to identify it a little bit, like looks at it a little bit.
Murky
Is
brown.
it like grog or something?
It's a bottle of murky brown.
Heisan takes a sip.
Oh.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
It's
poisonous to Aerocrocker specifically.
Yeah, it is essentially acidic.
Fuck yeah, 20, natural 20. I'm holding this. I'm looking hold my drink.
Excellent. This is the strongest alcohol you have ever tasted. It seems
Also
like
the only.
it was some level of this was probably it looks like a whiskey bottle at some point that then got added to and subtracted from and added to and subtracted from and left out in the sun for a really long time. So, like, partially evaporated, distilling it down even more. Like, this is just barely safe for humanoid consumption. It is, like, one day of further distillation away from just being acetone.
This is a natural 20 only in the sense that of a natural 20 that Heisan does not like immediately regurgitate it back up. It's like it's the kind of alcohol where you actively feel it like burning
It's
as
poison.
it goes down.
You've drunk
the throat.
poison.
Yes. And Heisan just goes
Yeah, I get that.
Is this just rubbing alcohol?
Could be partially.
Use it as a base to start the hooch with.
I mean, we all start somewhere.
Maybe have you considered adding perhaps, I don't know, fruits as you brew, maybe?
Nah, that just weaken it.
I mean, that's the point.
No, it's the opposite of the point, I tell you what.
Sailors. And then Sam will just like sort of sit down on the netting with them catching their breath. Did you make that yourself? The crossbow?
Oh, no.
Huh.
Corpse, I think.
Dermundian make?
Kind of looks at it like, yeah, it fits in my hands, so probably.
Never actually went there. Ever participated, seen the Blood Bowl?
Oh, yeah. Oh, kids league for it anyway. It was a good time. We kind of all, you do it in school. It's kind of a whole thing.
Oh my god.
You do? They have...
I
was
played
not aware
point,
there was
obviously,
operations.
with this kind of, you really just kind of want to barrel directly into the chest of the other kid, knock him out, and then you can keep moving to try and score. It's a great time.
Oh yes, I could imagine.
Always have healers on standby.
I'm just going to... Heisan kind of just lays back for a moment trying to get... His head starts getting a bit dizzy. You keep talking,
Alcohol
I'm
and
just gonna
bird metabolism are things that, like, I did not consider until exactly this moment.
I wonder if birds have, like... What kind of metabolism do birds have?
Very fast.
Fast.
Very fast.
Oh.
And there are birds who are specifically attracted to rotting fermented fruit because it makes their heads buzzy.
Get some drunk.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, where I'll keep it for a moment.
Sure.
His son's in the netting,
Yeah,
all
they're
tied
just
up.
hanging out on the roof.
Yeah.
Hey, Hugh.
Yes.
I don't really want to put any more on your plate. You have enough to worry about. But I did have some thoughts. Mostly about the worst case scenario.
By all means, let's start building contingencies now.
Well, your condition non-presiding, should things go poorly with the court anyways, for whatever reason, I mean, I have reason to believe that this ship might be pretty fortuitous. You see how fast we're going.
This is true.
You could do trade not just with the rest of the Phasia. You could do trade with the rest of the continent. All the way in Matla. You wouldn't have to rely on Althra's routes.
You're not wrong. Would certainly be very useful in case of some kind of embargo. My primary concerns then would simply be that would help a lot more if we were a center for trade, much like Althra, somewhere host to many markets. It would still be quite difficult to enable travelers to come and visit, especially if we're being embargoed by Althra. But no, I agree. I think you're right in that should we come under some kind of trade blockade, having access to expedient trade travel would be highly beneficial.
You know, they wouldn't care about embargoes or royalty, or they just don't care for that kind of thing. So far beyond their...
I imagine laws aren't really a concern.
If they have any.
Only the law of the sky, baby! Sarisk is just like leaning against a crate.
Funny.
So let's see if he's... Roll perception for Sarisk.
I was saying, this is an AB conversation. Like, I think Pashmina just kind of, like, looks over her shoulder, like, hi?
I'll keep walking.
No, I mean, do you have any input? Like, what do you think?
Well, the thing you're talking about is smuggling. Specifically, should any particular embargo arise. And the logistics of getting in and around an embargo are not... It depends on what goods, how much we're traveling. There's a big difference. What are we smuggling? Weapons? Are we smuggling drugs? Are we bringing explosives to a location? Then that's...
my friend. We're talking about, like, tomatoes
See,
and like, potatoes and...
Yes. So, that makes it easier to understand. For sure. If we're just looking for...
Have you even had a fresh grape?
A what?
A grape? You know, a
Is that
fresh
like...
grape off the vine.
It's
Oh
like
my gosh.
it's like a nut. It's like you gotta like crack it open.
It's the opposite. It's the softest, juiciest little thing.
Huh. You know, I think I've had like... No, those are oysters. That's kind of... It's kind of the same thing, right?
You've had wine, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. grapes. It comes from grapes.
Oh, so it's kind of like a bitter, kind of dry.
I mean, they can be sour. You know, the phrase sour grapes. But not. No, not really.
Oranges, sure.
Some, yeah. I feel like we're getting off topic.
Yeah. Anyway, it's would be medium profitable depending on who you're trading to, who you're trading from, what you're trading, who's getting it to who, and who's trying to stop what. I don't know if Althra would be so, because the purpose of the getting around the embargo, right, would be if Althra blocks you off for whatever reason. I don't know what you're up to. I was just eavesdropping.
Well, at least you're honest.
Well, it's a small boat. It's hard to conversations, you know. Would theoretically be to get goods in and out of through the embargo, right? So that'd be in and out of Althra. We would have to have a good cover story for why we're coming in and out, or we can just be effectively an extra national courier heading to and from.
That was kind of more my thinking. Why involve Althra at all? Just cut them out.
Start trading with Dermund. Begin building a secondary competing market.
Not just... Dermund is too close. I'm talking about all the way across. We can get to Althra in half a day. You can get to Matla in, 3, 4? It's faster than anything we've ever had on the
continent. Probably a little under a week.
Mm-hmm. At that rate, you could have fresh foods that I don't think the rest of the Phasia has ever had access to.
It's possible, and if you are trying to set up there's no way you're competing with Althra as an economic powerhouse, you know? I was not expecting Shrisk to be this. This is who Shrisk is now.
Shrisk is actually very insightful about.
Well, I mean, look, conceptually, right? Like, if you are a pirate, you need to know how trade works, or else like you don't have a job.
It's really funny.
Especially since Shrisk is the person trying, kind of initiating the crew, and is significantly more money-minded than most of the other people around, too. Anyhow, it's possible. But at that point, you're looking more for this kind of vessel. Now, I don't know the relative. I just know about getting across the seas, which is a logistical nightmare. But yeah, if the speeds are good enough, then you're looking to not compete, but make goods exclusively available in the Mirage markets.
There you go. See, you two should be talking. I'll get out of this conversation. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I feel like Feihu's medium intrigued. Yeah, they'll talk logistics for a little bit. I'm gonna roll some dice.
Yes.
Oh, Strisk, go, Strisk, go, Strisk.
Oh boy.
Interesting. Okay. For those that, in the vicinity, Strisk is definitely making a compelling argument for Strisk has the know-how for hey, if they actually wanted to do this, Strisk basically just knows how. Understands the logistics of what it would take to genuinely establish a trade route across the Phasia. Or not across the Phasia, across Rackentha, using airships as primary. The biggest problems logistically that he can identify immediately is that this airship runs on an arcane engine that has, they have a stockpile of what they would need to run it, but the core materials for that it is either Akram or an Akram refinement, meaning that obtaining it in Rackentha is actually very difficult.
They would have to go back to the other continent
or start importing that to Rackentha.
Or
Um,
worse, begin prospecting.
Right,
Actual
because there's a
sources.
if they could find like spires in Rackentha to be able to start a mining, which, and at that point you're starting an immense
A whole
operation.
industry.
That said, like if you could establish an exclusive, effectively rather than what Mirage's marketplace serves as right now, which is basically just a big variety general store. It is a pit stop. It's a big truck stop is what it is, but for the merchant trains, escalating the market structure from that into an exotic market could be highly beneficial. But then we're talking about increasing trade to Mirage from probably the other Oasis towns and potentially even Dermund. People coming up from Dermund into Mirage, since it's the southernmost Oasis city, just to access the exotic market. So, like, the logistics are possible to make it profitable, but that depends on a number of external factors. The extra roles there are really the Feihu and Srisk kind of trying to convince each other what would be a good idea. Because I think Feihu's very much on board, actually, with this conceptually, especially in a worst-case scenario. But even though he has the know-how, this isn't really what Srisk wants to be doing. Like, yeah, he understands the trade, but he didn't understand the trade to start a shipping operation. Right? Like, that's not
his
it's not really
aspiration.
right. It's not really the life he's interested in leading. And on the other hand, Feihu's not, like, this is getting too close to, like, okay, if I become this, then what am I even really doing, right? Like I'm the matron of a town. I'm not trying to become the owner of a, like, again, like a logistics operation. And I think, yeah, those 2 5s are just them kind of like going like, yeah, we could do that. Do either of us really want to do that? And not ending on the negative, but just kind of rather on an interpersonal standstill. Yeah.
Everything okay?
I think so. Yeah, alright. The ship continues flying. If folks... Zoran, how's the flight? How do you feel about this?
I think they're just very on edge, is the best way I can put anything. They're just very much, like, hyper-focused on everything and everyone.
Go ahead and roll perception for me.
There's a lot going on in this kid's mind, you know? There's a lot to think about. You said perception, correct? Yeah. Fabulous. Ooh, not great. That's a 12.
Yeah. So the folks around you, especially the crew...
13.
13? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know math.
The folks around you they definitely have tasks to be doing. None of them need to be done particularly intensively. It's not like they're on a boat in the middle of a storm or anything. You get side-eye every once in a while. Are you disguised at all, by the way?
I'm going to say no, because they are aware that Loka had Zoran in, like, not their possession, but, like, was with them. So it doesn't make sense to disguise themselves.
Yeah. You definitely get a side-eye every once in a while. And I think you get the sense that, like, they can't really tell. Grant, you also note that you're not the only one getting the side-eye. Like, Feihu gets the side-eye, Pashmina gets, like, everyone who's not main crew. everyone's just kind of like, all right, we got some weird we were already down with the 2 fish people we already have, the 2 weird sea creatures we have on board. One more's whatever, but like this is kind of a weird little motley crew to bring to Althra. And yeah, it looks like they're kind of sizing everyone up. Not necessarily, can't really tell for what purpose or if they have any real intention, but they are keeping an eye on everyone almost as much as you are keeping an eye on them.
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of exactly. They're not doing much. If anything, they will spend like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, quickly writing out a letter using like the instant mailing system that they're going to send their person a letter just saying, expect me in the city tonight, or by tonight.
Yeah, and they just, you get a prompt response back that just says, I'll be waiting.
Otherwise, they are just vigilant the entire time. They're probably like sat on the ground or something if there's like a stool or a cushion or anything, and they're just sat on it, just kind of like hugging their staff, just kind of like on their lap, and they are just watching.
Yeah, for sure. Loka, new kind of boat. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Y'all did some boat work. You did some water work. This is definitively different. It doesn't really have the weight or the rock and the roll of a traditional sea vessel. But you find you catch your sea legs quite quickly on something like this.
Yeah, I figured as much. I think Loka is... between enjoying himself and not sure if he likes this.
You are high up off the ground.
Yeah, and he's used to that, but the ground is usually water.
Right.
So it wouldn't matter if he fell.
This is definitively different. The stakes have changed.
Yeah, like you still kind of get the wind against your skin sort of feel. But or I guess scales would be the better word for him. But anyways, yeah, I don't know how I think I've got him positioned on the boat right now, just kind of like sitting up on the railing, next to the chimney thing. So I think he's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Watching everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna make some rolls.
How do I get rid of this? Oh no. Oh no, how do I get rid of this? Okay.
Alright, noted. Alright. After a solid 4 hours, the she-devil is going to come down from the roof. Go back up to her box. Bonk. Climbs down, and just kind of calls out to the captain, just like, city's in view! And Captain Pendulous Hall is just like, alright! We won't have to prepare for land for a bit of time, but we've got a moment. We will be beginning descent shortly. Everyone hold on to things in short order once we arrive to the city. You may not have to immediately, but we will be and entering the area soon.
Did she just leave a son up there?
Yes.
You're a bird.
Not a word. Are you just out?
Just sleeping on top.
I think that's an entire possibility.
Little booze nap.
You did crit your con save, so up to you. But in about half an hour, you are going to feel a downward lurch that is almost definitely going to wake you up immediately.
Oh, that's...
But for
That's
those
fine.
of you on deck and on the bubble, you can see Althra in the distance. From both up here and this far away, you get a much better look at its star structure. That the city is laid out in these 8 kind of points that are made out of this carved stone in the sands and close to this mountain range. You can see the section of the city that is the great markets, that being the east and the west. You can see the enormous temples and the library that you've already visited in the south point of the star, and the the glorious palace and other associated mansions of the royal family and noble families in the northern quadrant, and then all of the tightly knit together houses and abodes in each of the residential points between that, those being all the northwest, southwest, southeast, northeast, the middle, the 45-degree points. And you can see all the banners. The never has the moniker City of 1,000 Colors been more true than your view from up here. As you can see, the banners and rugs and lights and lanterns, just as the sun is starting to dim, not quite setting, the city's really a sight to behold. Additionally, and kind of to Captain Pendulous Hobble's surprise, there appears to be another airship docked just outside of the city limits that has it's significantly smaller than this vessel. It looks to be about the size of like a sloop, a much smaller sailing ship, and has a much smaller blimp atop of it. But the blimp is emblazoned with a golden, gaslit lantern symbol on it.
Peshmina actually looks back to Zaron and is like, I bet you've never seen it from an angle like this, huh?
The palaces are high, but no, not like this.
Would Hassan recognize that sigil at all?
Go ahead and roll history for me.
Thank you.
Zaron, you may too, if you would like to.
28.
Sure. History?
Yep.
Alright, give me 1 second. I have to reopen my dice box.
Could I as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
Everyone can.
Everyone. Everyone.
I did not roll well.
I rolled a 14.
That's pretty good.
7.
28.
28.
Of course.
Zaron, you know that it's from overseas, but you're not sure how or where. Peshmina, you know that this is definitely from the Eastern Continent. One of the major cities. And Hassan, you recognize this as the emissaries emblazoned from the recently reestablished New Kyla.
Feeling.
This is not the relevantly not just the symbol for the symbol for the city itself,
Right,
but rather
flag,
of
but...
their it is like a flying a little diplomatic flag on your car, basically. This is noting transport for a political agent.
Interesting.
Hassan will just sort of sigh to himself. Oh, wonderful Easterners.
I did not know you to be so prejudiced, Hassan.
Is this like a thing that he says openly to everyone?
Yeah, it's something he says as he sort of flops back up to as he down onto the onto the deck.
You get a look from Zoran. You are aware that my mother was from the East Continent, correct?
Oh, I'm aware. And I respect,
Oh my.
and I do respect the ingenuity. But Kylans specifically, I do have a tendency to industrialize and, let's say, destroy what I feel is very nice about certain parts of nature. But who knows? Maybe things have changed since the turnover.
Noted. She looks away.
I heard there was a really cool druid over there. That's
No, you
Heard
didn't,
legends.
Yeah.
Amity sneezes.
Yeah.
Somewhere across the continent, Amity just gets a nosebleed. Like, what the fuck is...
Sneezes again.
Yeah.
I keep having these dreams where I'm a Locathar.
I'm a weird little fish. I gotta stop doing Rackentha bark every night before bed.
Stalker is like
why am I cursed to land?
having dreams about being a little pink girl.
Staldar is discovering things about himself.
He is on a quest.
Meanwhile, all of my NPCs are having an existential crisis simultaneously.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway.
Who knows, though? Perhaps a few scholars among them. If there's one thing I do respect about the Eastern places, it will be their places of study. Not only, heck, technological developments alone, those don't manifest without significant organization of researchers. Perhaps one or two have come along.
You do know that New Kyla has established, since the new rulership turnover, a sizable public library that seems to have been making waves in the world of arcane study.
Yes.
Fancy.
A few of them have even began to even imagine the thought of, let's say, public services. quite a, let's say, novel idea. I don't know. Sorry, I'm mumbling now.
What counts as public services?
Oh, libraries, education, things beyond just, hello, you get to live here, and, you know, maybe if you behave, you will be able to, we will allow you to keep living. You know.
Gotcha.
The airship gives another lurch as it begins its descent outside the southern wall.
You see Hasan clutch his stomach a bit. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, please. But after a short descent, Hobble manages to set it down very gently beside the other airship, where it appears to be tied off at a very makeshift dock that looks like barely prepared for one airship, much less two of varying sizes. But otherwise, you land without much issue at all. And very quickly, yeah, like I mentioned, the sun is just barely beginning to set. It's very, very early evening, late afternoon. And you've managed to arrive in half the time you did when you came here previously.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to leave all that early.
Do we know where we're staying, or are we gonna have to procure some shelter?
I have not yet made arrangements, but I'm sure I could find some.
I also could find something. I would just much rather speak with an old friend in the city before we do anything else.
And you mentioned you might introduce me.
To this very friend, actually.
Excellent. Then, by all means, take your time, but would be more than willing to come with you. Or maybe if you'd prefer, we could acquire lodgings, and then you could come meet us there.
If you would prefer, I would ask, however, that we find a place that is more...
A
well,
neutral
offers a bit of
location?
secrecy.
Hmm.
A neutral would also be fair.
I recall hearing you all talk fairly highly about the two-headed peasant.
It was okay.
I was always a fan of their plays when I would sneak out in the dead of night sometimes. Lovely little inn. There are plenty others, of course, if you'd rather want
Certainly.
a little more upscale. If you'd rather want a little, well, more secluded.
I can certainly afford wherever we want to stay.
I am also fair and happy to pay any funds for lodgings for a bit. I just need to see him, first and foremost.
Certainly. We have then... Yes, how about we'll find some place to stay and can start to settle in, maybe get... that will make 6 of us? 5 of us. So,
It'd be
a room or
preferable to
two.
get you off your feet before we do much else.
I would appreciate that. That would be nice. All right. Then yes. Then if you wouldn't mind, we can. Confer via Sending Stone.
Please let me know whenever you find such lodgings. I will bring him with me, if he is able, of course, when we are able to rejoin the lots of you.
All right. Excellent.
Same goes to you. Use your Sending Stone if anything happens, okay?
Of course, of course. Don't worry, I know how to traverse the streets of this city very well. And they quickly just kind of like with a snap of their fingers just to be extra because it's them, they end up going ahead and disguising self to just look like just a normal human, like traveling merchant almost.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the most base stock adventuring type
NPC.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just John video games. That's the only way I know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It's just John video game and he just hops off the boat and starts walking.
Absolutely. Dress up as an NPC.
It literally that is the only
Like
way I know how to describe it.
Gray man shit, you know? Like try and be
Yeah.
as non-recognizable as possible.
No one would bat an eye twice in his direction.
Absolutely. All right, let's get over to Althron.
Oh, excuse me.
Yay.
Too many glasses.
Markets.
Oh, I love Althara. God, I love Althara.
It's good.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am proud of the city.
It's so good. God, I love when
I'm so proud of the city.
Tubbs been working on some setting stuff too, and I love it when y'all do this shit. It makes my life so easy. Plus,
I'm proud
it's just
of writing
good.
it, but God, this looks so good.
Yeah. Very happy.
I could
with
even,
this build.
man, I should actually update it now that there's even more stuff in Tailspire, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
could be.
This could be...
I might be working on some other Althra boards too. But all right. Yeah, you've made it to Althra in early evening. Luckily, this is when markets are busiest, so Zoran, you have no problem just melting into the crowd immediately. As for the other folks, do we want to take a quick 5?
Sure.
We have been playing for a hot second.
I keep drinking water to keep my voice from going out, and it's backfiring.
All right, yeah, let's take a quick 5.
Cool.
I've unpaused the recording.
Right.
Crazy. All right, we have arrived back in Althra. So, squad minus Zoran. You have some choices for lodging if that's the only thing you're looking for. But in the meantime, just like I said, in the city, there is a, like usual around this time of the evening, the market is very much coming alive. There is just tons of people around. And in both the market districts and kind of edging, it usually ends up near the edges of the market districts where they border the residential districts, since it's just the easiest place for doing it. There's not like zoning, but there is just convenience, is where most of the inns and taverns tend to end up. So we've already mentioned the two-headed peasant theater show, but the dinner and a movie inn, basically, which has its advantages, particularly on the side of secrecy. There are just lots of people there, which is an upside and a downside. Meaning that it's easy to get lost in a crowd, but there's also a pretty decent, there's theoretically higher chance of being spotted, potentially. There's other options, like the a little place called the Magical Mouse, which is like their whole bit is just being very quiet. It is a very quiet little inn, not a tavern, just a place for people to get rest. And there's like a code for how loud you can be, particularly for people who need to get sleep. It's like aggressively soundproofed as an inn. And very few people there, which is the other flip side, right? Which is there's less people to spot you, but you're more conspicuous. And then you've just got like your run-of-the-mill normal taverns, places that are like largely conspicuous. We've got upscale places. We've got like the Iron Bird, which is like closer to the like north end of the markets. So it is like, or close to the center of the market. I imagine that's kind of how valued space shakes out. You want to be closer to the center of this star of a city rather than towards the fringes. So close to the center, you've got places like the Iron Bird, which from a view of the exterior has this just like beautifully sculpted metal like eagle. An appropriately native species of bird. Sculpted like right above the entrance, and like everyone who goes in is wearing like cocktail dresses and like full like veiled garb, like very fancy. Seems like a pretty high priced establishment in general.
It's not there.
And then lower end places like the Rich Frog, which are just like, yeah, we got beds. Well, privacy? I don't know.
Also have bed bugs.
There's no keys.
You like sleeping? You like sleeping?
You like sleeping? There's places to sleep here. Can't promise someone won't barge in on you in the middle of the night. We actually lost all our keys, but it's only like 2 copper a night for all of you. So
see, all this background noise is the noise.
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
My vote is for the Magical Mouse. Or Magic Mouse?
Magical Mouse.
Magic Mouse.
I'd get sued for copyright infringement if it was Magic Mouse. Yeah.
Was Magical Mouse our middle of the road end kind of?
It's very
that was
quiet.
one that was specifically quiet, and I think Pashmina's main concern is that Feyu gets some rest, and also maybe not be seen by many people, if any.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right. And I assume you communicate this to Zoran through the appropriate means.
All right,
Um,
place picked. Magic mouse.
Yeah, the exterior is very like it's kind of quaintly decorated. There's like some molding in the stonework above the entrances the entrance that kind of evokes whiskers. And there is like this kind of portly Aarakocra gentleman with like a teeny little pair of glasses at the tip of his beak, like, oh, hello, welcome to the Magical Mouse. Would you like a room for the lot of you? We have adjoining suites. We have some larger rooms or just single beds, should you want. What can I do for all of you?
I think some adjoining suites.
Oh no, Luca! Oh.
I
We're
think
so
some
sorry.
adjoining suites would be really good.
All right. Now, I am going to have to ask you to keep it down. We are an establishment that prides ourselves on the peace and serenity that we can give our patrons and one another. So I have to warn you, if you do get any complaints, we are on a first strike basis and you may be removed from the property.
Just kinda
I'm
side eyes
sorry.
Luca.
All right.
We'll keep our volume down.
That would be lovely, thank you. So, how many will be joining us? That you said suites? We can have an adjoining suites. That's 2 beds apiece, seats up to 8 if you don't mind sharing.
Oh, just enough for the 5 of us.
The
right?
5?
Just 5. Just the 5 will do.
One of our party's out running an errand. They'll be back.
Certainly. So we can do 2 capacity bed rooms and then a king if you would like for the other room. Or we do have one of our larger shared bedrooms, which is a little bit more, just a tad more expensive, but it will give you the room you need for up to, I believe you said 6. There are 5 of you. There are 6
5.
beds available.
Matron,
5 is
matron.
unfortunately just exactly a number that we typically go in pairs of even.
Have you a
What is this?
preference, Feihu?
Oh, let's take we'll take the largest room. That's fine. Oh, very well. That'll be simply a gold night. How many nights do you believe you'll be staying with us? And Feihu just like pauses, kind of like reaches into her bag, counts out 30 gold, and she's just like, I'll take whatever change we need back. And he goes, very well, we'll reserve the month. Excellent, no worries. Do you need anything else? We have couriers that can run to the market for you. We have. She's just like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Thank you. And he goes, all right, and like kind of quickly scrambles and grabs some keys and gives them to all of you.
And if anybody complains about my volume, just let me know. We'll have a conversation.
He fixes you with a particularly stern look and doesn't say anything.
Loka, I am going to make a suggestion that you speak with only using the sending stones. Why don't we play a game?
You still have to speak into the sending stone.
Wait, sending stones. Is that how the sending stones work?
I thought we agreed that they could also work telepathically.
They can also work telepathically. The easiest way people use them is usually just to speak into them. So, because the telepathic communication requires a certain iota of focus, and the easiest way to concentrate that focus is just to talk. But a lot of people who like the common technique, if you're trying to do it covertly, is usually to like mouth the words but not actually say anything.
What about this, Loka? If you can manage, how about this? I'll give you a challenge. You know challenges, right? Like sometimes you'd be challenge your crewmates to do things, and if they did, they would get something.
Yeah, I'm listening.
If you can manage to go throughout this entire stay in this in this inn for however long we stay, and while you are in this inn, only communicate telepathically via the
that's
sending
not a
stones.
That's not a fair wager, I
No,
don't think. How about just...
me to let him finish. I want to hear what the hell he has to say to me. No, come on here, son. Finish the thought.
Yes, Pashmina, please let me finish. I will buy 15 gold, any gift worth 15 gold for you.
That's not nearly enough gold to say shut up for a month.
Only while you're in the building. Outside, perfectly fine.
Hey, son, how about this? If you can capture lightning in a bottle, I'll give you 200 gold, and you never bother me about my voice again. You've got 5 hours.
You could have just said no.
Okay, I'll just say no.
Well then, please. Well then, don't look at me if we get kicked out.
Loka pouts. He's just pouting.
Excellent.
Don't get to talking. My private room.
The rooms.
You're allowed to...
The rooms are the proprietor, Mr. Mouse. It is named after him.
That's...
Is it M-A-U-S, Mouse, Mr. Mouse?
No, it's M-O-U-S-E.
M-I-C-K.
No, Magical Disneyland is elsewhere in the world. Magical Disneyland is currently being constructed in a suburb of New Kaila.
It's called Cedar Point.
Awkward point. But as he leads you to the room, you notice a few things as soon as you get into the rooms. One is, all the while walking down the hallway and into your rooms, you get like there is no indication that there is a single other patron here other than yourselves and the proprietor. It is incredibly quiet. And you can't tell whether that's because of the establishment or whether it's because there's no one else here. But popping into the rooms, you've gotten this like kind of larger 6-bed suite. They're currently pressed together in bunches of 3, but you can like spread them out however you want to. The beds and covers and pillows and whatnot are incredibly plush. Like, you sit on them and you just sink into them. There are really, like, these very, like, nice but very thick curtains hanging over a couple of the windows. There's a kind of, even, like, a dense carpet. There's actually a little mat for you to, like, wipe your feet off and keep your shoes at the entrance so that you don't, like, track dust onto this further thick. This room looks like it eats sound. So
Comfy.
easy to talk in, very soft, lots of pillow. There are pillows everywhere.
Yes.
Hey, son.
But yeah, sorry. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Loka?
Would you mind waiting outside for just one moment?
Hey,
Just
son,
Kaysan or all of us?
Just hey, son. I just want to check and see whether or not we can hear me, you know? We have the
I
best
will
ears
be
out of all of
outside.
us.
I will be outside. Son steps outside for a moment.
Loka closes the door, turns around, and walks a few steps back in and says,
Okay, can we find out whether or not we keep Hisa in here or not?
You have to say that one more time because
Can we take a vote on whether or not we keep Hassan in this room or not?
Oh, you two are being. Peshmita just rushes past you and opens the door. Get back in here.
Did you hear us?
Did I hear Loka?
Roll a perception check. DC is legitimately 20.
Holy shit.
19.
19. No.
Holy.
Like the door closes and there's no indication to you that there is even a person inside. Like you hear no sound from coming inside of the room.
What the hells was that man even worried about then? Is there some kind of fucking enchantment? This is crazy.
It's called the magical mouse.
Yes. No. Wonderful. Seems to be well insulated.
What's the point of the policy? You could do.
If you're allowed in the
Stops
hallway.
talking.
there are common spaces in this hotel. It's in.
I'm gonna get a band together in here. How about jamboree?
There are limits to
Maybe?
Are
soundproofing.
there?
To an extent.
Well,
Zoran,
physically, not magically.
Hello.
you're not currently there,
No.
but you have been given the communication that people are staying at the Magical Mouse. Could you roll history for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Ooh, much better. That's going to be a 16.
Excellent. So the name rings a bell, particularly for your dealings with, sometimes people of note want to go somewhere and for that activity to be particularly discreet.
Oh no.
The name of the Magical Mouse rings a bell as a place that covert not as like kind of secret, not a secret things happen. So it's a good pick for if you don't want to be overheard for sure. But it also has some implications depending on what's
This
going
is
on.
where you bring your mistress then.
This would
Yeah.
be if you are like
I had
a
that
kind
thought.
of lower level noble, this would be that place, yeah.
I was like, oh, you can't hear anything, huh? You can't hear anything, huh?
Sure can.
I did mention the beds were pushed
Oh,
together
you
in the room that you were in.
Oh my god.
I think they like kind of stop for a second and they're like, did I hear that right? And I think they just back on setting stone. Are you sure you said the magical mouse?
Yeah, it was known for being, hush hush quiet. We thought you could get some rest and it would be, discreet.
Utterly perfect soundproofing, I might add. Hassan will say. Can barely hear a thing outside these walls.
Yeah, I was screaming and Hassan couldn't hear me at all, so.
Oh, you lot never end to amuse me. Okay.
What's that tone for?
No comment. And they put the setting stone away.
Rude.
Zoran, where do you eventually meet up with Libra?
I think at their abode.
Okay. So, in a little bit more of the upscale side of one of the residential districts, but still modest, just a little single capacity abode. And they are very much ready for you. They've got a little lamp lit outside of their front door. Yeah. How do you approach?
Is there anyone on the street?
Maybe like a couple of pedestrians.
Okay. They will approach the door and the two of them have a almost like a secret handshake, but it's a secret knock.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of like they've had for years to just alert the other, like to let the other know that they are there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they will perform the knock on the door. They're still disguised at this point.
And Libra gives the other half of the knock and pops open the door. Just kind of looks you up and down. It's just like, oh.
And very much still disguised. Hello, do you have a minute of your time? And they will kind of like hold their hand up, and very obviously the signet ring is there.
Yes. Ushers you inside. Closes the door. Wow, this is new. This is impressive.
And as soon as the door closes, the disguise drops.
Oh. All right. We've rearranged some things since last time we've been. Curious. Are you okay?
Am I all right?
You just like, you look a little...
Right, yes.
You had the ears last time. You just
I
look
did.
And it's not significantly different. It's just a little, you look a little...
Please don't lie to me, Libra.
You look a little bit more like a fox. Just a little bit.
I thank you for pointing out the obvious. I am more than aware. There was some complications. It's a whole long story. I will be glad to regale you on it at another point.
Sure thing.
Firstly, hello, I've missed you dearly.
I've missed you so much too, and just immediately gives you a huge hug.
Immediately reciprocates it.
Things have been curious around here. I mentioned some things in our letters back and forth, but there are certainly some curious goings on at the moment. We've got a number of emissaries in from different places, from Kyla, from the Raxen Coalition, from Dermund, from Corsa and Ryufen.
To what end? I don't think we've had this many at one time in a very, very long time.
It is quite a few. As far as I'm aware, it seems that they've been invited for... there's this kind of semi-public event going on in just a couple nights. I say semi-public. It is invitation only, and I believe most of them are gone. To actually meet and carouse with some members of the royal court, of the royal family, with noble houses, and there are a number of high-profile emissaries attending as well. I think it's attempting to be something between a show of good faith and a bit of a flex, an expression of, look at these allies that we have. But not quite sure how all that's going to go. But it's been fascinating to see unfold, for sure. Don't believe any of us are in any particular
I see.
nonsense.
No, most likely not. It's just interesting. I don't remember there being any talks of such a meeting when I was last here.
Oh, and the Renee in the Hawk Guard is in a tizzy trying to maintain... They're planning on hosting it in the central square around the spire. Security for that is going to be a mess, a nightmare, surely.
I can believe that.
So she's...
They don't have you working it, do you?
Oh no. Although I do have permission to attend, should I need be. But no, not working that night at least.
Good.
I have been doing some information gathering of my own. I have learned a few new skills since last we met.
You and I both, apparently.
and Libra like picks up a utensil. It looks like he was in the middle of a meal, or at least a snack. He has a little bit of a habit of stress eating, and like kind of like holds it in front of you, and then does a little bit of handwork, and it like disappears, doing a little bit of like sleight of hand things. And I've gotten a bit more into climbing things and some acrobatics. The
just massive grin on Saran's face.
I've discovered that the awnings of Althra are surprisingly good at supporting weight if you run across them. Though I have garnered accidentally a little bit of attention as I my earlier exploits. But doing better now. Doing my best to sneak about as would be useful to learn some new things. It's part of the reason I know Renee is having troubles at the moment.
It's a fascinating new trick, Libra.
Well,
I'm
you know,
impressed.
she's a little blush. Like it's always good to add new skills to your repertoire.
You are fascinating. But please, I have some people I would love to introduce you to.
Oh, excellent. Yes.
If you are free for the time being.
Fully indisposed, walks over to the table, like grabs plates, just like puts them in an ice box, closes that, just like, I'll get to that later. Here,
Can
let
I
me
help you with anything over there?
just let me grab a few things. And Lieber kind of like ducks into a side room and comes back out in like kind of this longer dark cloak and a couple of fitting boots. You in fact even see him slip like a couple of blades underneath the cape. Just like fully prepared. Just, you know, I it feels good to be. I don't know if I actually am, but I feel dangerous, you know?
I love this new you. It's so different.
Just full blushing. Like, just, like, it's like, showing off stuff to, like, a childhood friend, where it's just like, I shut up. It's fine. I'm trying new things.
Oh, this will be fun. You will love my companions.
Oh,
Truly, you will.
I'm sure. And you've made some new friends?
I have. Shocking, I know.
Yes.
But I have. They've been very, very kind to me so far.
Good. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you haven't been alone in the desert, at least not for too long.
I was for a bit, but I've found a good group.
Good. All right, come. Let's go find these
Yes.
people. Where are you all staying?
And they stop for a second, and they consider their choice of words. Let me preface by saying, that none of them know the city very well.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know some places very
Yes.
well. I asked for a discreet place, and they probably picked the most discreet place they could have picked.
They're staying at the Magical Mountain.
Yes, I reckon.
Oh. So you're saying you're taking me to the Magical Mouse run?
And just gives an eye and just sticks their tongue out at Libra.
Yeah, you receive a wide teasing grin in return.
It is like I've never left, as insufferable as ever.
Look. Sometimes there's nothing you can do but annoy the shit out of your prince best friend. Let's go!
Of course. And they'll put the disguise back on before they head out. And will accompany Libra.
Libra pulls up a hood to make himself a little bit less recognizable.
Perfect. And Zoran will walk alongside Libra, probably just chatting the entire way.
Yeah, just having a casual talk about things. Along the way, you find out that so Libra has been doing some covert physical reconnaissance to try and get a better handle on kind of the goings on. Doing a lot of work, like just his position is pulling a lot of weight in just like where he's allowed to be, what conversations he's allowed to listen to, etc. But being able to do a little bit more sneaking around has actually like benefited him in some very distinct ways, heard some very specific pieces of information. Unfortunately, local news tabloids basically spotted like a dark, shadowy figure climbing across rooftops in Althra and have dubbed them the Viper. So there is like a kind of an urban legend going around Althra. That Libra is incredibly embarrassed about.
That's so funny. Zoran eats this up. 100%.
But look, I didn't know the palace roofs are very round. It's hard to get covered. Fuck. It's fine.
Just kind of like does one of those things, so it's like, oh, the Viper, and like the sound of it just kind of like shuffles
shut
like
up.
his shoulders.
It's so
at, like, the
bad.
sound.
It's so bad.
So not your style.
No.
I love it.
How naughty.
Awful.
It makes me think of that one story. It's like, I've come to wash and wipe your window.
It's awful. All right. Well, and you've been going 2 airships in Althra in the same day. Crazy.
Oh, funny enough, one of those was ours.
Oh, expedient.
It's like it was destined to be there. Funny enough.
Weird.
Wild how that works.
Yeah.
Looks this guy.
It's worrying. Yeah, destiny's a strange thing. All right, yeah, let's hustle along. And you two very quickly catch up to your companions at the magical mouse, which is again the difference in sound between even just like standing outside to actually walking in is extremely apparent. You walk inside and there's Mr. Mouse himself sitting. He's very carefully paging through a like thick book, but like moving the pages very slowly so they don't like rustle.
God.
Hello. Might you two be staying for the evening?
We are actually looking for compatriots of ours. They
The
should
large
have
room.
been spending the night. Yes, it should have been for a group of 5. We will be
Yes.
6 for just a small
Perfect.
time.
Right this way, and he hands you your key, the last one, and guides you to the room. What's going on in the room as Zoran and Libra enter?
God, I hope it's chaos.
His son's,
His son
his son-
bickering the
his son
whole
is-
time.
his son's saying, look, I understand that you have certain ways of doing things on the pirate ship, but no, we can't just carve a room into areas of who gets to be in what space. We can't draw lines in the sand of who can be on what side of the room. That's not how this works. This is a common living space, okay?
You hear a heavy click as the door unlocks.
Peshmina just goes, oh, thank God.
And as the door opens, Loka just...
I'm trying to keep myself nice and happy because apparently you don't want me to talk.
I'm just saying, look, I'm just saying.
Save me from
Zoran opens the door at this moment.
Yeah. Loka getting done yelling that, then turns mouth agape at the door like,
Mr. Mouse just kind of like peers in, adjusts his tiny glasses, just like, all right, well, here's your room and your companions for the evening. I'll be at the desk if you need anything, and like slowly walks away.
It's Zoran's going to just kind of hold out a silver coin to him.
My thanks. Pockets it.
Yeah. Well, come, and just ushers Libra inside.
Oh, hello. Hello. Interesting. Kind of like gives a deep bow, and when they come back up, the hood just kind of like falls off the back of their head. Libra, and you are collectively?
Closes the door, drops the skies.
Mm-hmm. Friend of yours?
In every sense of the word, yes. This
that's
is
good.
Libra. He was my dearest friend and retainer from the palace.
Hello.
Oh, inside knowledge, I see.
Well, you can't exactly get more inside than gestures at Zoran. But I suppose I have been in more among the yes.
Ah, wonderful. Then you could tell me all about the rascalous behavior this one gets up to. They've been cagey about it. They've been cagey about everything. Pulls out his notebook.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
pet peeves. List them out for me, would you?
Oh, I am extremely sworn to secrecy, I assure you.
Don't talk to this one. He's gonna make you say things. He's gonna write it down. He's gonna use it against you later. I promise.
Libra will, however, immediately latch onto like, oh, what quill are you using? And he pulls out like a scroll from his jacket as someone who is a retainer and does lots of pen work. Is just like, I've been looking for new quills. Mine just don't last nearly long enough.
God, they're
Oh,
already fast friends.
yes, those would be the new synthetic ones, wouldn't they?
No,
you
because the feather trade in Elthra, it's not permitted among non-Aarakocra, so.
Yes.
I've heard good things about fountain pens, though they're kind of hard to acquire. Anyway, we can do this later. Libra, you said Heisan?
Yes, Heisan.
Gestures to Loka, you are... Aquin, alright, I won't be able to
That's
pronounce
Loka.
that, but Loka, okay.
It's been a bit of a thing while you were out, Zoran.
I can see that.
And I'm Pashmina,
Pashmina.
by the way.
And you? And Fehu's, Fehu of Mirage. And Libra goes, excellent. Well, happy to be of assistance however I can, especially to you, my lady. And I will be, I'm... Welcome to Althra, haha! But yes, I'm here to be of assistance to any and all of you as much as I can, particularly you, my friend Ron, but anything I can do for any of you, I will in the meantime. So, what seems to be what brings you all here this soon?
Shouldn't you know?
I believe we only spoke of it briefly. I was mostly informed simply that I would be receiving the arrival of Ron this evening. I am aware of some dealings with Mirage, though I believe a specified attendance in Royal Cart has not yet been defined, though I believe you, Fehu, have filed to do so upon arrival. And Fehu nods and goes, yes, but officially I'm not here yet. And Libra just goes, fully understand. Excellent. Well, more than happy to make all of your acquaintances. Good. Feihu kind of like actually, she's looking very tired at this point, but raises a hand and is just like, actually, would you happen to know of a working toxicologist or any particularly notable healers within the city bounds? And Libra kind of thinks for a minute. It's just like, well, there may be a member of the Alchemists Guild that could be of assistance in the realm of toxicology. I can definitely look into that. On the healer's side, there are a couple among the greater clerics of our local deity that may be able to help you, though doing so may be a bit of an involved process. That being as high profile as they are, they have a bit of a line. You know, there's a whole process, and Feihu nods and waves a hand. Other than that, there are a number of middling here. Are you ill? What appears to be the issue as of
None
right
of this leaves this room, by the way.
Of course.
But we're suspecting some kind of poison.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do we know by what method? Ingestion, injection, cuts, contact, scent?
He just kind of looks to Feihu.
We are unsure, I believe, but the current running theory, I believe, is ingestion.
Ingestion, I see. Oh, and kind of like takes a second and looks around the room. You mentioned you came in on the ship. Did the courier happen to return with you?
No, the courier
He-
disappeared.
He left almost immediately that same day.
We've not heard from our courier since they left for Mirage.
I told you that it was him.
What, Loka, we don't know. We still have to keep our voices down. I know that it's... We don't know anything yet. It is suspicious. It is. I'll give you this. It is suspicious. It's very suspect.
What information had you received, my lady? You can. Thanks for a second. And it's just like, well, we had an exchange regarding the trade situation, regarding some experiences citizens of Althra have had in Mirage, of the position, the positional importance of Mirage relative to the Phasia, and Althra's the royal court's continued interest in the addition of Mirage into the protection of the Hawk Guard and of general rule by Althra. We did not come to any agreement, simply information between us. And Libra kind of furrows, and she's like, that is the brief. So they appear to have been successful in communicating with you as far as I'm aware. But you say they left immediately. When did they arrive?
It was like 3 days ago? Roughly?
Roughly? Yes. So we spent yesterday in the Horde, and they came the day before. So like two
2
2
days
days
ago.
ago?
And you say they left immediately.
Pretty much as soon as they were done talking, from what I remember.
Interesting.
They were definitely gone the rest of the day.
Our courier left 4 days ago. I believe on foot, and our couriers are
So-
trained. Should have arrived within a day. Did not arrive until 2 days later. delivered their message and left immediately and have not yet returned. They have had a day of travel, should have arrived early morning yesterday and did not.
So there is
Troubling.
a chance that they may still turn up if they're taking illicit detours.
There is a chance. We will keep an eye at them. I can make a comment to the guard rotating on the gate to keep an eye out for couriers, as this one has been out for a bit longer than expected. It is typically procedure to stay overnight, if only to rest up in order to travel back. Such a disregard for standard procedure is suspicious.
I was gonna say I told you so. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Noted.
Feihu's brow is just thoroughly furrowed. She kind of like shakes her head and is just like, well, good to know. I really should get some rest. I'm not sure if I can really thinking straight.
I think Peshmin actually like leans over and like cups a hand to her mouth and is just like, listen, if these two are bothering you, we can get our own room.
I think I'll be alright, but I appreciate it.
Just kind of squints at Loka and Hason both.
Hey, if Feihu was like, I need to get some sleep, Loka would leave. That's fair enough.
Boys.
But, thank you very much for your commitment to help. I'm sure I will contact you soon. Are you, how may I contact you, actually, Libra and Zoran and Feihu, exchange details so that they can send letters and also do messaging back and forth. Okay, excellent. Yes, excellent. And she just kind of like slowly starts lying down on one of the extremely plush beds. Libra kind of looks to the room. Is just like, is there anything else you would have of me this evening? Otherwise, I might return to the palace for a reasonable sleep so that I might be ready for any future endeavors.
How long have you known each other?
Zoran kind of looks to Libra. It's like, oh god, how long?
That would have been shortly at that I was, because your father thought it would be a good idea.
I was young when it happened.
Maybe would have been just over 10 years ago?
Aw.
Goodness, has it been that long already?
Just barely. Well.
What do you know of, the Black Talons?
Black Talons. I'm aware there is, well, sort of. There is a, was, I believe, previously a, mercenary cadre, registered under that name and similar symbol, though I believe they were representatives of a portion of the Haraxan Coalition's military force. Their symbol isn't exactly a talon, it's more of a claw. But sounds similar.
I don't know if there's any in the city.
I can certainly check.
Could you?
Yeah, I can head over to the registry.
Thank you.
Of course. Kind of pulls out a scroll, makes a note.
Sorry, Zaron described you as their retainer. What kind of duties does that entail?
Oh, administrative things, lots of paperwork, making sure that people are where they are when they need to be, logistics, keeping track of events and meetings and individuals one might need to ingratiate themselves with. Just, you know, generally being helpful. But in the grander scheme of the courts.
Back, sorry.
Welcome.
Good.
Libra's just explained to Pejmina what a retainer is and what he used to do.
Fair. That is fair.
And Heisan's going to say, I assume you were assigned because Zeron could not handle that themselves?
Just get a look from Zeron. And what do you mean by that?
Just drawing conclusions.
It was never so direct as that. The Sultan has his own attendant, Sir Baldrin, who is fiercely loyal and an incredible warrior, and thought at a fairly young age that it would be useful for Zeron to have similar companionship structured for him. I was selected because of my scribe talents and primarily my age. I was a deemed an appropriately normal young boy.
Similar.
A small, like, smirk from Zeron. On the
Mandatory friend.
Oh. No, I'm
my
not sure you...
my government-issued boyfriend.
Real.
He says, "Oh, and your family was very supportive of this."
Oh, mine? A job in the royal courts. I mean, yes.
Are they still allowing you much clearance with Zeron
sure.
gone?
I still live in the palace. Well, I have access to the palace. I live near the palace. I have my own abode, but I have large access. Since in Zeron's disappearance, I have been primarily tasked with doing retainer tasks, but for whoever needs them. More of a floating retainer. And I've been keeping myself busy.
Just a Snickers. Viper.
Shut up. Nothing.
Well, at any rate, I'm glad that there's at least someone in Zeron's corner who, you know, is still entangled in all of this.
Yes, well, I can't imagine that ever really changing.
Oh,
But happy to see you safe and with friends. I believe I will depart if you don't mind.
Of course.
Certainly.
I'll walk with you for just a bit.
Excellent. I'll points to Loka. I'll pass the registry on my way back home. See if I can't get that information for you sooner rather than later.
Okay, just, drop me a letter or something.
I believe I may go for a walk as well, if you do not mind. Oh, I just wish to go see the other airship. Perhaps take a look at it. Just observe for a little while. I'll be back. Thank you very much.
Be careful.
I will. And Isan leaves. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you, Libra.
Nice meeting you as well. Zeron, shall we?
Of course.
Right. And they exit.
Okay, as soon as soon as they leave, looks to like Loka and is like, okay, over under on them having feelings for each other. Go.
What?
Over
cut out.
under
Yeah,
on.
I mean, yeah, I'd put money on it.
Oh my god.
I've already put money on it.
How much?
I don't know. How much money you want to put on it?
I don't have a lot right now, so
5 gold?
yeah, okay.
5 gold. They have feelings for each other. Almost certain. Baker, you want to know? Oh, she's already asleep. Never mind.
Conked out, completely unconscious.
That
Yeah.
would be so funny. So good.
All right.
So good.
So, something else you wanted to talk about?
Briefly, I just wanted to get. Ooh,
Eli's gone.
goodbye. Goodbye,
Nope.
bird. Oh, hello,
We're
bird.
back.
Hello, are you there?
Here for
There you
now, I think.
Excellent.
I don't
Alright,
know what's
perfect.
going on. It's going in and out.
It happens. Well, welcome back for right now.
Yeah. Sorry.
No worries.
Yes, there is something I actually wish to discuss with you, and as much as I trust my compatriots to also know this information, I'd rather just hear it one-on-one.
Mhm.
And the first one is, how is everyone?
Fine. At the moment, your mother and father are a little stressed about this party coming up in a couple of days. They're still on their attempt. The Sultan is still aggressively trying to lobby in the royal court whenever he can get a chance to speak to allow them to leave the city to go searching for you. But honestly, things are starting to reach a new normal. Your absence is certainly felt, but Sensuma and Mila are getting on well. The little ones are starting to attend school again. There's actually the Royal Academy just went out for sabbatical, so there were quite a lot of students around the city on their various activities for now. But
Good.
little ones are doing well. Siblings are doing totally fine. The nobles are a little bit more stirred up. There is some talk of maybe a bit of a premature marriage arrangement for your younger brother. But we'll see how that plays out, or if they go through with it.
He is about the age that it happened to me,
Yes.
so that doesn't entirely surprise me.
House Estler certainly has eyes on all these political marriages going about, so.
Do we know what house is potentially?
Estler and Bintai are in talks in bad. They keep discussing things. I find it distasteful personally,
Oh, absolutely so.
but they seem to have. They're largely jealous of House Ymira and pitiful of House Tenon for missing out. Speaking of which,
Do I even want to ask?
She's doing fine. She's never been more busy. But she is There's a fire in her eyes wherever she goes. And she's always had a passion, you know, but
Oh, she always has.
um,
Truly, she always has.
it feels as though there's an edge to it now that she's really trying to work towards something in the absence of your partnership. Have you heard from her at all?
That's, I made the blunder of contacting her once.
And how
Rather
did it
recently.
go?
How do you think it went?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. It says everything I need to know.
I had a bit to drink that night in a celebration, and then I saw a date on the poster, and I panicked because that's, well, nothing to laugh at, the price, and I tried to tell her it was okay, and I returned when my journey was complete, my dreams had been acquired. I said that I would return. I promised her I would, and she said, that's not good enough. I need you here now. And I said, no, you know this is like a big thing for me. And she said, then I changed nothing. And it's... oh, goodness.
There are many fools who would do much more dangerous things for that amount of gold. You'd think she might give away half her house just to find you. That said, I don't think you're in the wrong.
Libra, I'm scared. The thought has crossed my mind, not once, not twice, but many times since I left the palace those 3 months ago, that I made a mistake in doing so. That I've ruined so many lives so far. Just completely brought chaos to the palace. I know that. I'm more scared that people are going to die for my sake. Just for the chance to get the prize money. Not even the prize money, the reward. For my name, obviously, you know, I'm not anywhere near Havsrath.
No, you're not.
And I am terrified to find out that people even want to try to go. Nothing good comes from it, and it brings me so much pain. The idea that someone would even try to risk their lives to brave it. Just for a couple thousand gold?
A couple thousand gold is the world to many peoples around. It's more
I know.
than some might see in their entire lifetime.
I know. The guilt of people dying.
Understand. But their pursuit is not your fault, and their misguidance by Sibella is also not your fault. If she were to steal all the gems in Athra and say it were because of you, that would not put you at fault. It is her actions that caused these things.
Part of me knows that you're right. But there's something about it that just
know.
really rubs me the wrong way.
Have you considered seeing her while you're in town?
That actually brought up a thought that I had, and I wanted to bring it up to you.
Please.
Obviously, you know I can change my appearance now.
Yeah, quite the trick.
Truly. Well, obviously, I could not go to her as I actually am. A, I do not want to terrify her with my newer appearances. B, I would be immediately apprehended on the spot. I was hoping that I could, in a way, borrow your appearance for a short while.
This is novel.
It's the weirdest way I could have phrased it, but it's the only way I could have done it.
No, absolutely.
I can't less of nobody, and I would like to believe I know how to impersonate you rather well after these 10 years of
known each other for a bit, yes. Well, I have no responsibilities tonight and am headed to the rather reclusive records to check on some registered merchants and mercenaries. So if you should like to do so, tonight would be an opportune time.
Oh, I was not ready to do it so soon. Oh, okay. Just tries to compose himself some the thought. Okay. I guess firstly, is there anything that I should know that you would know immediately? For a meeting. Any goings on in the town that you would be privy to that
she's planning on
not
attending the
in?
party as the same as the rest of us. That is requiring some amount of coordination between ourselves and the noble houses. It would be it would be simple to simply say that you were here to confirm some plans, especially provided since House Tenon is providing many of the decorations for that evening.
It would be very much in her nature to do so. I can believe that. Okay. But gods, I'm nervous. It's like kind of flapping their.
Well, I have aught to soothe you with words. I can merely say that I trust you. I understand that you will be nothing but you, and the best thing you can do is be your honest self. If she cannot see that, then that says more than any words that would ever come.
You're right. You're right. You are painfully right as always. Okay. I should go see her, I suppose.
Luck.
Come here, please. I need this. And just goes and hugs him.
Yeah, second hug.
I need this.
He gives you some hearty pats on the back.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Off to read some registries. Ha ha ha.
Have fun. I try to.
I do try to find the fun in it.
Of course, I know you do. Good night, Libra.
Good night, Zeron. And you part ways.
And Zeron's going to start heading towards House 10.
Absolutely. While you do so, back at the Magical Mouse, you've got a little bit more time before you wind down. If anyone wants to explore the markets briefly, you can. Hassan, you mentioned going on a bit of a walk. What would you like to explore? Also, are you muted? Oh,
Oop,
gone. Worse than muted.
Worse than
Deleted. Ashmina, what are you doing?
sleeping, hopefully.
Leaving? Just actually conked out?
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know what's going on with my internet. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
Pat, pat.
Yeah. I know Hassan was already going down to, I guess. How are the airships docked? If at all?
They're, like, tethered. They're basically, like, staked to the ground. Oh. Excuse me. I don't know if you know how hot air balloons are moored. But
Usually, I always thought it was like sandbags and whatnot.
that's how they're ballasted. So that's what helps them maintain elevations. But yeah, it's just like big stakes in the ground, and luckily they're not currently like active. It's not like they're hovering, waiting to take off. So they're just resting on the ground, with their engines running just enough to keep them upright. But yeah, the New Kylan vessel is much smaller, maybe a little bit sleeker than the prototype, the prototype 3. But is certainly much less powerful. It seems to have less of a propulsion device. It's like kind of sail rigged. It looks like it's built for many fewer people. It has a small security detail, and by security detail I mean one person and also the engineer. They're kind of like hanging around it, doing little fixes and whatnot, just kind of fiddling with it.
Hassan is just going to essentially walk up to the ship and start opening his notebook and start scribbling like similar comparisons between theirs and the new Kyle and the Kylans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And this is nowhere near the markets. This is outside the city?
Correct. It is outside the city limits. Just barely, though. It's like right next to the entrance to the southern market. Or
Yes.
the markets are east-west. Western market.
And I guess we'll just, after it takes a few notes, we'll just approach the two who are currently there, and we'll just hail them, say, "Good evening."
Oh, hey! What's going on? It's a pair of tieflings. One of them is in a has comically large goggles and like a big leather smock, and the other one is large and carrying a very long spear.
He says, my sincerest apologies. I just happen to be a, local scholar of sorts. And I like to, and historian, I might add. It's not often that you see, forgive me, but it's not often that we see Eastern ships around these areas. I was hoping if you wouldn't mind answering a few questions.
Yeah, sure. She's a beauty. Put a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
those bits together myself.
No kidding. The inner...
The security personnel just kind of like looks at the engineer and gives like a little bit of a like, should you know, and the engineer just kind of like waves it off. It's like, it's fine, it's fine.
Hassan will just sort of permission to perhaps just get a little bit closer,
Sure,
so
yeah.
I do not have to yell.
I won't. I don't think we're allowed to let you on board, but yeah, feel free to walk around.
Oh, thank you. Though, you said you made this ship. You made some of these bits yourself.
Oh, some of the pieces, yeah. I mean, we're a lot of the crew back at the ship dock. Try to keep like a hand on whatever our own ships are. Gotta do like a little bit of modification here and there. This one needed some extra bits for weathering the storms across the sea. It managed all right, but it took a little bit of wind damage. So if you can see the fastenings, and kind of like points to some of the rope netting holding the larger balloon up above the airship. Just like some of it frayed a little bit under the wind pressure, so we replaced some of it with different rope. We've reinforced some of it with a little bit of metal cabling, but it's doing all right now. Phasia's got a lot less severe wind structure, so we won't really know how well it holds in comparison until we head back, but it's doing all right.
As long as you don't avoid the center.
Oh God.
This is the first time around these around these areas, I suppose. Then.
Oh yeah. First time flying intercontinental too.
Small world, not so small a world once you get out of the city, doesn't it? Isn't it?
It's tell you what, it's real different. It's very different. You know, sand everywhere. Gotta get out of the gears real bad.
Oh, I was also hoping to ask you. I suppose you noticed this is not the only ship moored. Only one of two.
Yeah, we saw it flying this afternoon.
What? And well, and of course, perhaps this would be incredibly presumptuous, of course. You wouldn't happen to have heard of somebody named by the name of Pendulous Hobble, would you?
Doesn't ring a bell. Not off the top of my head, anyway.
Shame. I was hoping I could. It's perhaps the bull-headed captain of the ship over there. Was always hoping I could find it. Seemed to have quite an axe to grind with other engineers, something of that sort. I was hoping I could find out something.
He might have had a gripe with the Institute. I know they've had some hot-headed inventors around there.
I see. Well, and I understand. Again, I understand your policies and whatnot, but what brings a Kylan ship this far?
We just got I mean, it's public knowledge. Just a couple passengers, folks that need to be here for some kind of get-together meeting.
Get together? A diplomatic mission of sorts?
Couldn't tell you. I just fly the boat.
Understandable. Well, good. Well, then I hope you don't mind if I stay around, just taking a few sketches if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah, by all means.
Of course. Heisan will just continue sketching out the boat in that case.
The engineer does seem like kind of proud of the ship, so it's very, very much totally fine, kind of like peers over your shoulder at the drawings every once in a while. Security detail, on the other hand, is just kind of looms, sticks around and make sure you're not getting up to nonsense. Zeron. House Tenon is quiet. Not silent, but quiet. There are certainly bustlings, especially among house staff. You pass a number of, as you are permitted entry into what is a sizable estate in the northern sector of the city. There are a number of house workers that appear to be manufacturing decorations, doing a lot of detailed, very fine textile and lace work. Lots of very, very fancy, very colorful banners. And lots of kind of individual ribbons and streamers and whatnot, and they're making loads of them. There are literally these just like woven baskets piled high with the things. And they appear to be working in shifts, working late into the night to manufacture all of these things. The higher house servants recognize you and let you pass.
I should have said, yeah, I would have quickly change appearance.
Yeah, of course.
Along the way in a quiet alley, just quickly dip.
Very much, yeah. They are fully understand even just an uttered excuse of here for the royal cart. They'll let you pass immediately. They are not concerned about it. You've chosen a very effective disguise.
Yeah.
And as you get to the abodes of the members of House Tenon proper, you are given a few. You may navigate as you will. It's a beautiful night, very clear. from your interactions with her before, you know that Sabella is loath to sleep early. Very much a burning the candles at both ends kind of woman. And if she's doing something closer to accounting work, she'll end up doing it in her study, but she also ends up doing a lot of work kind of out in this palatial garden area. Or she might just be in her room. But you can take a minute to kind of look around the Tenon residences if you would like to.
I think quite literally he's gonna probably try and find like a maid or a servant and just inquire on her current location.
Oh, yes. Lady Sabella, she's in her study right now. She's working on something for. Oh, are you here for to talk about the festival? The.
Briefly, I am.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming so late. Just right this way, and she directs you towards the study. You already know the way.
Yeah. And kind of like stands outside the study and just stops, just deep breath to just collect himself because he's just like he's so nervous. Before just kind of composing just general crowd-pleasing smile as he just knocks against like the door frame if the door's open or the door itself if it's closed.
It is closed.
Yes, then the door itself.
But upon knocking, you hear a bright and familiar, "Oh, come in."
Hand goes through the doorknob and he will open the door. Good evening, my lady. How do you do?
Even in private, working in her own study with no one but herself and her servants around her, Sabella Tenon is dressed like she is headlining a party. While not as fanciful and as practical as some of the outfits you've seen her in, she is in this just stunning little gown with just enough legroom to hop around the room as needed to all of her various documents and ledgers. But she puts down a long quill and turns to look at you and goes, "Oh, Libra, I'm doing well. Did not expect anyone this late, but happy to get moving on things for the event in a couple of days. I understand that things are moving quite quickly after we made some decisions in the last week or so. I hope that you are also well."
Very much so. Just busy, my lady. There's much work to be done, and I have free hands to help.
Of course, of course.
I would have come by earlier. I just had town, so forgive me for appearing at such a late hour.
Excellent. Then, to help then, you said?
I've just come to see the progress of everything.
Yes,
See
absolutely.
your side of things, how everything
I'm sure
is
that
coming along.
you've already seen some of the decorations. I have samples, and she actually pulls out like a folder and retrieves individual little samples of the different styles of ribbons that she is working on having people manufacture for the wedding in particular. It's just like, we've got a wedding, God. Very much not a wedding, just a party.
Very much not a wedding.
Definitively not even associated with being a wedding. It's just a party. We've got the different styles we voted on a few different things. We thought that these would be particularly nice to kind of represent the strength and connection of our peoples and those around us. And it's like these two, it's three colors weaving together, and the stitchings along the ribbons are even three more colors. So it's like this full interwoven bound construction. And she kind of gestures back to the ledger, and it's just like, we should have most of those complete by tomorrow morning, and then we have our staff up and available to be able to assemble them and then actually put them in place in the center town square tomorrow night. I understand that House Kessel will be handling the larger catering and service force of the parties. We have that marked down here, though we've got the layout for the party specifically to make sure that we are not overlapping tables and decorations, so that it is a comfortable event at both levels, that being the diplomatic level and the public level. So things they're like moving very fast. We're moving very well. How about on the royal side? Have we come to an agreement about those intending to be in attendance? I understand that Samarabi II is in high demand right now. Have we confirmed whether or not he'll be attending?
We are still deciding, but I'm sure Sultan himself will come to a decision rather quickly.
I know that...
I'm hoping on yes.
That's good. I understand that there's some amount of pressure from the other houses to make sure that he's in attendance, but honestly, I think it would not be such a great loss should he not attend.
Of course. Just trying to keep up appearances where we can.
Absolutely. Most important thing.
Of course. Oh, well, you have your hands full.
Always. Always.
Oh, do you mind if I take a seat for a moment?
Please.
I'm around all day.
Sure you've been, yes, on your feet.
Thank you.
She
Very
kind
much,
of
I do.
takes a pause to kind of like set her work down for a minute and swivel. She picks up a small mug of tea and kind of sips it gingerly. It's just like, how about yourself in the castle itself? Any upsets? Anything particularly interesting going on?
If I had anything to report, you know I would in a heartbeat. Nothing really new, perhaps. Everything is about as it has been. I don't like that roll. I don't like that.
Yes, it seems things are starting to settle down.
In a matter of speaking, yes. I was actually going to ask you how you are faring. I don't think we've had a conversation of me just checking in to see how you are in some time.
No, no, we haven't. It's been quiet. Perhaps a bit lonely at the house. I know I've been taking over much of the work of my father, and that means that they're out and about doing their thing, and means I'm frequently here or making appearances, so... I like the work. The work keeps me occupied. It's good work. Very proud of it.
And you should be. You've always put on a very good show, no matter what circumstance. I almost admire you for everything that you've done.
I should hope so. I try very hard.
I know you do, my lady.
Saying you don't admire the work that I do?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Please.
No. I understand. Simply a tease. Go ahead and roll a deception check with advantage.
Okay. I can do that.
You got this! You got this!
Oh. Okay, give me a second. I broke my dice tray for a second, trying to open it. My hands are so sweaty. Okay, with advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's like the one roll I'm good at, please. Okay, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, I'm so glad there was advantage. I rolled a 17 and a 1. So total it is going to be a 24.
24. Yeah. Excellent. She looks amused at basically being able to make you stammer. Like, that certainly it was a little bit of a joke, but the outcome seems to have amused her very much.
Mm-hmm. You know very well that I adore all of your work.
Of course.
I just wanted to check to see how you are, and this is me as a friend to you, not as a servant of the royal court.
I understand, and I know that we have both been missing something very much for a while. And that can be hard, but I think you've been doing a commendable job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I miss Erasmus every day. And I don't want to be one to assume, but perhaps you have as well.
His absence pains me, surely.
Can I insight that?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
What
good.
a fucking non-answer,
Okay.
by the way.
Okay, that's a good roll. 19.
Just barely. She's a +5.
I have a +4.
She's doing a good job at masking, in general. There is... This is an exercise in exactly the kind of court speak that drove you so far away from it.
Mm-hmm.
What she said is true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She clearly is missing the presence of Prince Erasmus in her life. But there's just a... It's not forlornness. It's not worry. It is not, like, yearning. There's just a little heat behind that.
Mm-hmm. Has he tried to contact you at all?
No.
I see. Well, I hope for any news any day.
She looks lost in thought for a moment.
Sorry, my throat.
There are fleeting thoughts of him. I hope someone might find him soon. So I do worry in his absence that things may move too quickly that he has become a catalyst for some unsavory elements of the court to attempt to accelerate their own using I'm sure you see it, the distress of the royal family. While they are in disarray, others may move in to take advantage.
And I think he looks almost saddened at this. I know only too well. I see it almost daily in the Sultan and his wife. I can only do so much to try and ease what I can, but we all miss the prince very dearly. Clears his throat. And just looks up, just right at her. Lady Tenon, I have something very, very important to ask you, and I would appreciate it if you did tell me the full truth.
She looks curious.
I need you to answer as honestly as you can, as if he were here in the room asking it himself. Please, only a yes or no. No matter what, the answer shall not leave this room. I guarantee it. Can I get your approval on such an ask?
Of course. This is a candid space.
Thank you. And is the door closed?
Yes.
Okay.
She would have closed it behind you if you did.
Okay. Okay. Lady Cybella Tenon. And he will get up from his chair and just kind of start to where she is at the desk. And as he's walking over, he will disguise self once more to a Zaran right before he left the palace, right before any bit of change happened to his body. He looks exactly like the Prince Aras that she would have known right before. And he just kind of puts his hands on the desk and looks straight at her. Do you love me?
Her eyes widen significantly before squinting just a little bit, narrowing to take in all that you are in front of her. The barest hint of a smile curls up at the corner of her lips. Of course, darling.
I was muted for a second because I needed to. I am going to insight it. It's not that great. That was a 12. But even screw it, I don't even want to roll for it, actually. Just I dumped the roll. I don't even want to, even that it wasn't a great roll.
Mm-hmm.
Zoran will just kind of stand back up straight from the desk and take a step back. And they're putting on a brave face. Like, they are trying to smile. They're still trying. that they're so used to just like a court smile almost. You know the one I'm talking about. But it is very obvious that he is doing everything he can to just keep it together at this moment.
Sibella stands as you take a step back, and she just kind of circles, looking at you. Her smile grows just a little bit.
And he will take another step back, and then another one. Forgive me, my lady. Forgive me for saying such a thing now, but... I simply do not believe that. Thank you for your time. And they quickly turn.
I would like you to roll initiative, because she's gonna try and beat you to the door.
Okay. Guess what? Initiative's actually the best thing I'm good at. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. I rolled a dirty 20.
Okay. Sibella's only got a +3.
I have a +8 in initiative. Okay.
Sibella rolled a 1, +3.
Okay.
So, key in hand, as she attempts to lock you into the study with her, you manage to dash and slip out just before her. And as you run into the hallway, she screams. That is where we are going to call it for tonight. And we will pick up with Zoran's escape from the Tenon estate next session.
God.
What the fuck?
Okay. Indeed.
All right.
Your scream was so fucking funny. It's a good thing I was muted. I just cackled.
It's driving me fucking crazy. This is nuts. I love this.
I'm
This is good.
sweating so hard right now. I want y'all to know this. I am so sweaty.
Amazing. In that case, thank you all for playing Stars and Wishes. Let's start. We'll let Caroline cool off for a little bit.
You're good. I need a minute. You good?
Matt, Stars and Wishes.
Oh, I'm not prepared for this either.
More.
Yeah, I mean, that's the wish, right? Like, the wish is why did we stop?
Fuck.
Oh god, stars. What happened this episode?
We got on airship. We found out that Feihu thinks she's poisoned and also can't do heal things. And then you got on an airship, and then you flew to Althra, and then you hung out in Althra, and then you went to a famous, a locally known, discreet inn.
No motel.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, I think a very specific star from today, aside from whatever the fuck just happened with Zoran, was Libra asking Zoran, "You want to take me to the no-tell motel?" essentially, which I thought was hysterical. Probably the funniest thing that happened this session, honestly. Yeah, other star, whatever the fuck just happened was, I don't really even know. It was good. I enjoyed listening to it. I don't know what the fuck just happened, really. Which
It's
is
about to be fucking nuts.
what the fuck just happened and what's about to happen. Yeah, I don't know.
Amazing. Eli, stars and wishes.
Yes, also that whole sequence was very good. Just played out like this one play I remember. I don't know, but whatever. It was wonderful. Other stars, blah 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 blah. Being able to talk. I still like being able to talk to small characters, like being able to get a story out of the she devil, and being able to get like immediate characterization from them was always fun. Wishes. I hope that we can all get in on Zoran's escape somehow, at the very least, or at least I do want to do a bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. Hannah, stars and wishes.
Oh man. So good. I love our ability collectively to create tension and drama. Just good. Just good. So good. Was actually very happy with the kind of surprise conversation with Srisk. Getting kind of involved with my discussion with Feihu, just because I wasn't expecting that. It's cool to get some weird random unexpected characterization from him. Oh god. I want to talk to Libra more. I want to meet Cybella. I want to talk to Cybella so fucking bad it's not even funny. I want to meet Cybella as Peshmina so bad.
I
would
super
pay
like.
good money for that. God.
Hey, she said she's attending an event in 2 days.
Aeson also super wants to be in on that, or at least Aeson wants to talk to Libra more because he's got the deets on Zoran, and I want to continue pulling on that thread. Sorry, I should have said I interrupted.
No, it's all right.
You're good. I need some fucking girl time one-on-one with Cybella. Like heart to heart. Like ooh. Oh. That's what I want.
Amazing.
Also, I want to help Feihu. Oh my god, I'm so scared for Feihu right now.
All right, we've circled back around. Oh no, we can do me. We can do me before.
Yeah,
We
you.
can do me. Stars. Yeah, the playing Sabella is super fun. That was a really fun scene. There's a lot. Today was a lot of who knows what and how should they act on those things. And that's more fun. That's very fun. Excuse me. Enjoy, the rapid lore of the Magical Mouse. Super fun. I love, for some reason, just like inventing taverns is deeply fun for me. I enjoy that.
It's good.
You were gonna say something?
Sorry, I was just gonna say the moment where I was like, oh, you could do a lot of things in here. I was realizing the implications.
It is a good moment.
It's good. It's good.
I love Althra as a city. I'm excited to do more stuff in it. And I'm excited that we're kind of deep in it with a lot. We've got a couple of big threads and a lot of small threads, and I'm excited to start following those. All right, we can delay it no longer. Caroline, stars and wishes.
I'm pissing my pants. It's the only way I can. Okay, I am okay. I am here. I am present. Stars. I'm gonna get to it last. I'm just gonna get to it last. Stars. I really like the crew on the airship. I think they're all very interesting. I had a lot of fun. Listening to all of that and just like listening to the individual people on the airship. Massive star. I love Libra. I
Good.
love Libra so much. They're such a good character, and I'm so glad everyone else also likes him. That makes me happy.
I'm glad you're happy, because I did try and put kind of a lot of thought into Libra.
It is pretty much exactly what I imagined, like, their relationship to be, which is just very much teasing one another, but still, like, on the best friend level.
Best friend,
and
best
for
friend,
the and
best
for the
friend.
two, air quote, best friend level.
Yeah.
Yes, air quotes.
So that's fun. I love that. That's great. It felt very natural playing that sort of interaction between the two of them, and I like that a lot. Libra being a rogue is really funny to me. I kind of love that.
Oh, I have a picture. Let me see if I can find it.
Sure.
Please.
The Viper.
I'm so excited.
I only have one thing, which is ignore the boobs. Because this is an NPC from a different book. This is a thing from a different book.
Fun.
That's so fair.
But it very much fit how I kind of ideated Libra's body type.
I love that. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. The title of the Viper is very... I think that's hysterical. For some reason.
I do find it funny.
Cheesy.
It was very funny. This session just had, like, a lot of little stars within the city. The whole just magical... The idea that I am the only person that knows about, like, the quote-unquote history of the Magic Mouse is very funny to me. And I cannot wait to have that brought up probably next session, unless I am just in a dungeon. We don't know.
Who knows?
And Star. Yeah, everything just happened. I have been planning this talk with Cybella for what, over a month now?
We have definitely been chatting back and forth about the potentia for this moment for a while.
For a long time. Ever since the idea was brought up of just like, oh, we could go back to... Immediately, I'm like, I need to talk to her. So that was one out of the way, and boy. That ended in a way that I kind of expected it to, but also didn't expect it to, which leads into my wish. God, I want to play immediately, because God, I want to find out what happened. I love that. I loved it, and I'm so ready to play again. Like, right now.
Amazing.
Other wishes. I really want to see how all that pans out. I really want to see the party. I would love it if there's a possibility we could attend. I would love to have the others, like, meet the royal family, possibly at this party for a brief bit. I think that could be really fun.
That sounds...
I would also agreeing I would pay good money for Pashmita to meet Cybella. That would be so funny. Oh my god, that would be a conversation and a half. Literally Zoran's worst nightmare, but I would love for it to happen. And yeah, that's me.
Excellent.
I'm so sweaty.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad everyone enjoyed it. Relevant. Next week, Wednesday the 26th.
Dread.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Dread. We're gonna do it here. We are going to be playing out a dark moment in Gaiul history as a fun little horror game with no dice, only Jenga.
Yeah.
which should be a lot
Do
of
we
fun.
have a Jenga tower?
We do. I have a Jenga tower
Okay.
specifically to play Dread with.
Okay, I was like, wait, do we even have one?
We do.
I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah, so super excited for that. Time-wise, like, I'm literally taking all of next week off, so I will be here all day. Let me know if people want to contribute stuff like snacks, drinks, any kind of, like, party fare they would like to bring. Time-wise, I'm hoping it would be nice if we could get started around 6, but, like, not super worried about, like, if people want to show up early, if people show up a little bit late, I'm not too worried about it. I know folks are busy in late October, but yeah, feel free to let me know. If everyone doesn't already have my address, I'll post it in one of the channels.
I would like it.
Yeah.
I do not have it.
Let me throw that down in session planning.
Cool. I will be there. Also, Sal will be with me,
Yes.
so y'all will actually get to meet.
Yeah.
Yay!
Excited.
Twins.
So he is
Twins.
very excited to meet all of you.
We can just use Loca voice at each other.
I want you to know, he uses the Loca voice too. Like every once in a while, if like we're listening, says something, he immediately says it as Loca. It's very funny. So I fully expect the two of you to just have a conversation as just two Locas. It'll be fun.
That
It'll
will
be great.
probably happen.
He's actually very excited. Do
It's my younger brother. Boo!
we have any dietary restrictions?
I do not.
Time?
Hi, Bubby.
Not that I know of.
Cherries are
Oh.
really the only thing for me.
Okay,
Good to know.
cool.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone with a cherry. That's super curious.
That's fair. I have a
It's-
melon intolerance, so
Oh,
It's like in large quantities for me.
gotcha.
same thing for me and melon.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
allergic to a lot of things, but not in a serious way.
I
In an
was
annoying
thinking
way.
about making some homemade cookies.
Ooh, that would be nice. Oh, we should
Aw.
get some ghost sugar cookies.
Yeah.
And actually make them, not just eat them right out of the packaging.
The package.
I feel that. I just made 2 things of like the Pillsbury one, except they're Thanksgiving themed, and I just
Since they started making them safe to eat, it's just like, well, why just eat it? Just eat it. It's
trust me,
just
I used to do that all the time. But okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
In that case, thank you everyone for coming. I will see you next week in person. Woo!
Wow.
Excited, and I have surprises for all of you.
I do.
You do?
I do. So look forward to being surprised and playing Dread.
Yay.
I gotta read through that book again. Alright, I'm gonna stop the recording.